So, hey everyone, and welcome back to Evandale and Fallendrift, and Erin will be with us shortly. So we're going to dive right in. Who wants to kick it off?
I will go first.
Awesome.
Because I actually have one. All right. So I don't know if most people realize this, but Shahid actually wears these gold ear caps on the tip of his ears. So there's actually a really cool story as to why and how he got them. Excavation job, right? For Mycroft's museum, Shahid had taken his wife and his daughter along with them so they wouldn't long for one another due to the distance. So while shopping in one of the bazaars, Yasmin gazed upon one of these beautiful pair of gold ear cuffs, and it was like delicately inlaid with these geometric shapes, very feminine in look. So Shahid picked them up and put them by his ears, and his daughter chuckled and said, "Daddy, those ear cuffs are for girls." So Shahid knelt down before her and he gestured it towards her and he said, "My dearest love, any and all items, let alone objects of beauty, hold no gender norms. If you find something beautiful, then it's beautiful, and you accept it for exactly what it is." So she looked at him and smiled and she said, "I find you beautiful, Daddy. You wear them." So he bought them and he's worn them ever since.
Fucking cheers to that. Holy crap.
I will start with the next fun fact. So, poor Renault and his out-of-time positioning has led to a series of things based off of anatomy. At the beginning of the Sixth Age, with the exposures to all types of energies and the weird explorations and things in the cosmos that exist, there are certain energies that kind of influence human evolution as they go out into the astral sea and space. And that has had a lot of effects on the organs that for those who go into space stations. Specifically, one thing, little Renault was born with a third kidney.
What?
Renault
That's awesome. Okay.
Renault has 3 kidneys. It's believed that it is meant to process one of the newer things that were exposed to human beings as they started to traverse the astral sea, the space as you have it. And whether or not that's something that's a mutation, it's just accepted.
My fun fact is I gave Renault his kidney. I'm kidding. One of Casper's first cases, if you could even call it that, when he joined the constabulary, had him basically have to confront his upbringing in the Rips.
Okay.
He was forced to choose between arresting somebody that he knew was by and large harmless, but who had committed a crime. And since it was so early in his career, he knew that if he didn't bring them in and somebody reported that, he would likely just be fired. They wouldn't bother reprimanding him about it. They would just be like, "All right, back to the Rips with you." So he arrested them, and he's been trying to come to terms with that ever since.
Fun fact for Evandale. The things that are currently going on in Fallendrift has happened thrice before in some of the other cities throughout the ages. It is an incredibly rare event by comparison. So, yeah. So that's that. We pick up outside of Wheeler Industries. A gathering is out there as well. Some of them, the cops who have been shooting up at the window before you all leapt out of it. In so doing, the newly, inhabited simulant by the spirit of Ethan Long managed to capture Ophelia as she leapt out of the window. Renault then started climbing down the tower, or rather down the facade of the building, and then it was remembered, oh yeah, the unconscious Casper is now upstairs in the 3rd floor of that warehouse where cops just broke into in a pursuit of you. So that is where our action is going to pick up. There is a crowd gathered outside of the building. They're all looking at you, trying to figure out what the hell just happened and what the fuck is that thing. Ethan Long standing there, having just put Ophelia down, quietly explaining to everyone, don't you have a friend who is still up there? You guys take it from here. If let's get in all responses within 30 seconds and see what happens.
Holy shit. Renault, Casper's still up there. And as he's saying this, I'm going to start trying to usher Ethan like through the street and hopefully by some like side alley to try to get him out of the immediate eyes view of everybody. Hopefully their eyes are more, I know they're going to be watching us, but maybe the masses will be looking up higher.
Understood. And Renault, what are you doing?
I know I don't have the strength to lift or carry another human being, so I'm going to give it a shot anyway while that is being...
Okay. Oh, you're just muted. You're just muted. Kevin, you're muted? Hello? Kevin, say something?
Maybe Kevin can.
There we go.
There we are.
Yep.
All right. That's that thing that happens that I warned you of.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
Power goes on. So I am going to do my best to go run inside and try to lift a grown individual out, but the main action is going back inside.
Exactly. So you're going to have to go alongside the building and back up through climbing on things, and you're going to come directly into contact with the police who just broke into that area.
Yep. Yes.
I'm making sure of that. Okay. All right. Then that's absolutely fine. Ethan, taking Shahid's suggestion, begins to take Ophelia off like about 20 feet away or about 10 feet away or so. Meanwhile, Casper, may I have a Constitution save?
Sure. Once I remember how D&D Beyond works.
No worries.
I usually just look for the box with the numbers and just click it. There's another way to do it.
But I'm stupid. We've established this.
I'm not even sure.
That would be hot 7.
Wow. Okay. So you are on death's door, my friend. That is your first death save. Alrighty.
Disappeared.
Shahid, you can see that Renault apparently has some kind of a plan. Renault, take it away.
So, going around the first door, remembering how I infiltrated the building the last time, I'm going to find that window that was on the second floor instead of leading up to the second floor, so I can trace where he was, and I'm going to use my little boomerang thing to get myself up easier instead of going through the other nonsense of using my weak muscles.
Not a problem. Side window, 3 floors up. Give me like a ranged attack.
All right. Oh, I gotta do that one. That's a new one. Weapons. Can I do that one? Nope. What do I need? What do you need me to roll?
You can add in a it would be a ranged attack, so like a dex attack. But you can quickly add like a crossbow to your sheet and use that.
I will give you that. It is terrible. Total 7.
Oof.
Yeah.
The thing,
gang.
it hits alongside the window, bounces back down, so you're not lost on anything.
I will use my move action to wheel it back up and try to get closer to get a better roll.
You got it. Yeah, you figure out the proper trajectory. This time I'll allow you to do it with advantage. Shahid, back to you. What are you doing?
So basically right now, I'm just looking back as I notice Renault go upstairs, and I'm going to try to, like I said, usher both Ethan and who's holding Ophelia into one of the alleyways, hopefully trying to lose ourselves in the crowd a little bit and all of the craziness of what's happening. Hopefully kind of going upstream from the crowds who all want to observe what's going on with that building. And as soon as we like get to a proper location, I'm going to kind of tuck them in and be like, Ethan, is there any way that you could watch out for Ophelia? I don't feel comfortable with Renault being up there by himself.
I am here, and I will do what I can. and you see cyan eyes that were red warlike above. Now cyan eyes, you can see, start taking on a much redder sheen as he stands upright, and through like leaves, he's hiding behind a couple of bushes next to an alley. He's looking at the crowd. I will not prevent harm. I will prevent harm. My circus is still broken. I'm sorry. I'll do what I can. You go.
Yeah, good. And he kind of reluctantly looks back, and he gives Ophelia that knowing look as if saying, like, if you need me, you know. And he's gonna then quickly make his way through the crowd and try to catch up to Renault.
Give me an insight check, please.
Yes.
Casper, while we're doing that, give me another Constitution save.
Are you sure
that's
you
an
don't want
11?
to make like a dex save or an int save?
Sorry, buddy.
I know. Oh, it's a 15.
Okay, all right. Your eyes start fluttering open. Shahid, what did you get?
An 11.
An 11. Okay. You see, the crowd itself is very confused as to what the hell happened. Obviously, there's still some police around. The police are not moving. They are in various positions or poses of like pointing up at the window. One has a gun aimed at like that. They seem to be absolutely frozen. The people all around are likewise very confused, or rather very confused as to what the hell's going on. And then they see you, and then you see a head loll down. 50 people's heads just drop off to the side, and then they lift back up. And they look at you and start walking towards you, Shahid.
Shahid pauses momentarily, realizing that all eyes are on him at the moment. And I'm going to try to look at the first person who's looking at me the most crazed, and I want to detect thoughts.
Oh, you've got it. Okay. Let's see here. Any saves for that? I don't think so, right?
No, so detect thoughts is going to give me the immediate surface thoughts, which is my main concern right now. Unless I want to delve deeper, then it would be
you got it.
So I'm going to back up and do that. Yeah.
Perfect. So the surface thoughts that you get, first off, you don't hear just one voice. You hear a multitude of all of their voices.
Comprehend languages?
You cast that immediately. Following that, and upon the repeat of those words,
go forward, my children, and destroy them all.
Holy shit. Are they, oh.
You will be safe. I will protect you. Keep moving.
They are now coming closer. One of them can be within strike range in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Misty step behind the group.
That's okay. So you're talking about like about 50, 60 feet away. And keep in mind, I realize that we don't have a map right now. You are standing, I'd say, about 20 feet from the entrance to the side of the building where Renault is. From your position, you can see Renault. That crew is walking down the street towards that area. So if you go behind them, you're going to remove yourself from Renault.
Oh, I thought that they were in between. Okay, so I'm sorry. I was under the impression that that group was already staring at the building, and they decided to turn around and look at me. So this is just like a mob of people coming towards the building.
They were all standing in front of the building. You're kind of like a little bit off on the side because of the side of the building. And now
so I have to get through them to get to the building, but they're coming at me.
Yeah, no, you can run straight down the alley to where Renault is freely, and then they will simply veer course and start following you.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good.
I thought that they were in between me and Renault. So yeah, I want to retcon that if I may. And basically what I want to do instead is I want to telepathic link with Renault as I start backing up. And Renault, you just hear in your head, shit. Something's controlling them. They're coming towards us. They all have one mind. They're a hive mind. They're coming. And I'm going to kind of slowly back away, and I'm gonna not run unless one of them busts a move, and then I'll run. But if they're gonna keep a heel toe pace, because I'm keeping that, I'm gonna kind of draw this out as long as I can.
You got it. Do any of the spells that you just cast require concentration by any chance?
No.
Nope. Okay, awesome. Yeah, not a problem. You then continue. Casper, you have succeeded on your death save. You're at 0. But, well, excuse me. Technically, you were not ever really down at 0. So you were knocked unconscious by the force of the blast that took you out. There is a searing pain in your chest. Party, if I'm not mistaken, Casper was healed, was he not?
Yes.
He was healed. Okay. Casper, so there is a searing pain in your chest, like a massive fucking hole that seems to be recently healed with new flesh. The pain is still there, and as you wake up, you realize that there are tons of footsteps passing by you. You quickly assess your surroundings as best as you can, still somewhat out of it. For the next, let's say, 2 move actions, you're going to be at disadvantage. No, for the next 1 action, you'll be at disadvantage just due to the disorientation. You look around and you realize you have been hidden from sight. Somehow, your body has been placed into an area where they are not immediately looking. You can hear commands of constables being, like, shouting out, "Spread out, see if you can find them, but they left out the window!" And there's a rush of footsteps going out towards the other side where you remember the window was.
I think with that pain and the dazed sort of state I'm in, I'm just going to do what I can to push myself further into concealment.
Okay, now you gain a further assessment of where you are. The door that you use, that the entire party used to gain entry to this, is about 15 feet away. The constable, and a little bit off to your right, okay? On the left side, that's where the front of the building is, and that's where the majority of the constables are now rushing. You should be able to get out through the back door. If you want.
Yeah. I'm gonna, as sneakily as I can, head that way.
Roll for stealth.
Haha, finally.
I'm just shy.
I'm a rogue.
Yeah, here we go, baby.
With disadvantage?
Yeah.
No. I mean, it's still a 16.
Still 60. Okay, yeah, that's not bad at all. You managed to, like, roll through an area or doing whatever it is that you do. You can only move about half your speed, so as you first stand up. But then you finally do get to the door. Let me see if any of them... No one notices you. You manage to get out. So you come down onto the fire escape on the backside, but you are now outside. There's a cool breeze now beginning to blow in the area. And you start moving down the ladder, I assume. You're now in the back of the building. I know that you weren't here last game. So you're now on the fire escape on the back of the building, and underneath the fire escape, which stops about 15 feet away from the ground, there is a series of stacked crates. Mike?
Oh, I think Casper's gonna pull the cube out and go, I don't think... I haven't done my stupid British accent in 3 weeks. We played Monster of the Week as well.
I know. I kind of want to talk like this.
Hold on, I got it.
Yeah, all right, yeah. All right, yeah.
Touchdown.
Yeah.
Right. All right then.
Right, yeah. All right, yeah. I don't think you have done what I wanted to you to do a single time. All I'm asking is this time, you just help me out.
And he's gonna press that cube up against where he feels that searing pain. I just try to channel like every thought that he ever had when he held this thing against something and it seemed to heal it. Or
Right
when
on.
He shot the cultist with a healing bullet the one time.
Okay, all right, totally cool. Can I have somebody in the chat type an exclamation point D percentile? Let's see what happens with that. Meanwhile, while we wait for a result over there, Shahid, you're running up to Renault, who seems to be he just got finished reloading a weapon. Renault, make a ranged attack again.
It's been done. The total is a total of 20.
Dude, it goes right... Oh, shit. Okay, cool. You managed to aim for a portion of the glass that it doesn't exist anymore. Keep in mind, a portion of this building was on fire. Some of the glass windows completely shattered. You managed to get it right in through a hole, completely silent. You managed to get it up there.
Whoop, climbing.
All right.
Doing my climb.
Yep, not a problem. Give me an athletics.
Athletics.
Shahid, now that you're running up to Renault.
You see Renault struggling with his 8 on athletics because he's not built for this.
I'm athlete. Have him roll mathletics.
Mathletics, yeah.
What are you guys doing?
Oh.
Shahid?
So Shahid was still backing up, and basically he has a whole mob at him. He's not going to go. I said I'm not going to go running unless they come running.
Right.
I awakened mind to Renault to let him know what was happening. So basically, I was attempting to go in with Renault until I noticed him Batmaning like Adam West on the side of the building here. You know what I mean? So now I'm just like, holy shit. So at this point, there's nothing I can do. Shahid's gonna kind of like steel himself and look towards the alleyway in front of him and all the individuals approaching.
Yep, Renault, and you can see. Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
No, I was just saying, he just grits his teeth and he just says, I'm not gonna let them pass. That was it.
Okay, so he's like 10, 15 feet away from you as you try to climb up this area. And you can see at the head of the alley coming in off of the street, a multitude of people. Right now, it seems to be about 10 or so, and every couple of seconds, another 3 or 4 are added to it. Every single one of them is moving in an almost identical fashion. When one eye moves to look at Renault, all of their eyes look in the exact same direction, and then all of them shift down to look at Shahid. Casper, you're on the back of the building. You're coming down those crates. Give me an athletics.
That's 12.
Not a problem. Yeah, it's a little bit on the iffy side, only just due to the instability of it. But yeah, you managed to finally get down. Renault, from your left side, from behind the building, you can hear something occurring on the crates in the back.
Same floor, or does it seem higher?
Well, the crates are on the ground.
Oh.
They are the same crates that you used to get up to the fire escape that you then used to get into the door.
Got it.
So it sounds like a cop is now coming down out of the back area. I mean, that's not a lie.
Oh, jeez.
Sounds like a very old cop.
With the side of the building, any metallurgy, anything like that?
No, it's just pretty much all brick.
All brick? Cool. Great. I'm going to still try to climb up.
Okay, you got it.
I'm going to continue to try to climb up. Another athletics?
Yeah, please.
Yep, and I suck. 3 this time. So
you let go of the rope. You start slipping down. Your arms are a little bit too sore. You land down on the ground. Not a problem. It's a little bit like oomph, but
damn it.
Yeah, not going to work.
All right. And now I'm going to turn to where Shahid is moving and look like I'm not built for this, and then see the big ass crowd that is watching this happen.
And so when I see his eyes get wide at the crowd, I just realize just how much faster they're encroaching on us. I'm going to look, close my eyes, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to recall that voice that I just heard within that detect thoughts. Okay. And I want to try to cast minor illusion, create an enormous sound that I'm going to try to mock that sound, that voice that I just heard, but coming from behind them, saying something along the lines of, leave them, come back this way, as if attempting to return the crowd, but out loud, no longer in their minds.
Give me a performance check.
Yeah, okay. Come on, charisma. That's a 15.
Ooh.
You see them, they already had their eyes trained on you, but then there is a brief moment that they stop, just as the bells begin to ring. Heads turn towards the bells, and then you hear, you see their heads kind of shake for a little bit, and thunk, turn right back on you and begin picking up pace.
Shut up! and I'm gonna start trying to climb the rope.
Okay, yeah, all right. Give me an athletics. Give me an athletics.
Behind Renault. Oh God. Mathletes go 7.
I'm
Yeah.
the only jock in this
no!
groove.
Oh no! All right, it's all because Ophelia's not here. You realize that you're just trying to
Yes.
like haul up arm over arm. The wall is slippery with like algae or moss or something. You guys are not able to get a foothold on this, unfortunately. Casper, meanwhile, you managed to hit ground. Where are you going? You remember you'd have to go to the left and then turn left again and run back the alley up the side of the building.
I think Casper, with all of the swarming constables upstairs, knows that procedure would dictate that you also have some guys staying downstairs. So he's not like blindly bolting around the alley. I think he's sort of creeping up to the corner,
Okay.
peeking around.
Yeah, you look at, all right, so you
Very methodically moving.
not a problem. You peek around the corner, perhaps even lowering yourself down to the ground, kind of like take a quick look, and you see Shahid and Renault trying to climb up a rope on the side of the building, and there's a mob slowly making their will at walking pace, and they're going to be there in like 10, 15 feet or so. Walking, there's about 30 people coming into this area, and every single one of them has a hive mind look, that 1,000-yard stare.
When I came to, I was the only one upstairs, right?
That is correct. The only one that, yeah, aside from the cops.
So I seeing them climbing up, I think it's fair that Casper would assume that they were going up to get him. So I'm just gonna, I'll just whistle at them, you know? Hey!
Yeah, you look over to the left and you can see Casper down on the ground, like 20 feet away.
Oh, we'll go that way. Go back that way. Go back that way. Go back that way. Let's go back.
Is Shahid going up?
Not anymore, no.
Oh, okay, all right.
We're going back down, being that we
Yeah.
saw him below us.
Gotcha, okay. Yeah, so you see Casper right there at the corner. The three of you take it from here. You hopefully, if you don't know where you are on the mental map, let me know and I'll fill it in.
Renault is just gonna clip the rest of the cord, take his losses there. He can reset another piece of metal to act as his little boomerang thing.
Cool.
And once it's done, we're down and we're heading towards where Casper is.
Okay, yeah, you're all together. All three of you
Yep,
are.
yep.
Is the floor wet from the rain that constantly happens here?
You mean the dirt?
Oh,
You're
so
outside.
there's no puddles.
Oh yeah,
or
yeah,
there's
yeah.
no-
There are.
There's plenty of puddles. Awesome. That's good to know. My actions are done.
Yep.
Yes. I'm gonna rush up to Casper, and I'm gonna start looking at him quickly. And I'm like, "You're okay, right? I'm so sorry. We had to get out of there immediately. I totally forgot the fact that you were unconscious.
You're
and I
pulling a Renault. We need to go. That is me.
Move now.
And when he said-
Now you can buy me a drink later.
I'm gonna grab him by the jacket, being that he said it's her right, and nod to Renault like real quick.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try to lead them potentially like a back way. I want to try to meet up on the opposing side of the same alley where I had Ethan wait with Ophelia, if they're still there.
You would have to go. Oh, you're going around the building
So
because you are in the alley. One end is completely blocked off by the mob. The other end leads to the back of the building, and then you'd have to like walk the entire length of it to come back around.
So they're on one side of an alley. So is there only two alleys next to this building, one on the left and one on the right?
Pretty much. There's here. I'm going to draw it out for you because there's another building on the backside, and then a fence alongside. Hold on, let me get you here. This. Okay, let's do it this way. We're going to do some stuff and things. Okay, cool. So imagine this, if you will. Okay.
Yes.
You are going up a side alley. This is a street in front of this building here. You're coming up this area, and you'd have to turn in order to go this way. So right now, you guys are about here. Casper just came around this corner here.
And where essentially is Ophelia?
Ophelia and
Ethan.
Ethan are down here across the street.
So We're in an alley. What is that building that's besides us?
This is a fence that you can hop. It's a fence right here, and then it leads out to like another street and a building opposite it, etc. It's like a sidewalk alongside it.
I kind of like do like that scurry stop, and I pat them and I say, Ophelia and Ethan are over there. Potentially, if we could hop this fence, we can make our way back on. That's the best way to try to avoid this mob.
Or
I know,
yes,
climbing.
yes. I'm not good at that, but
the first one near you begins to swipe.
Oh, never mind. And he just starts to climb.
Anyone here not climb?
Casper's going over the fence.
Okay, cool. Athletics for everyone.
7.
7? What the fuck is going on tonight?
7.
You're talking to an artificer, a warlock, and one cop.
Oh my god. Okay.
I rolled a 17. I'm up and over, baby.
Oh yeah, he stepped on my shoulder on the
Not
way
a problem.
up.
Yeah, you are absolutely over that.
Help me up.
Yeah, yes. So with a little bit of effort, not a problem. However, Shahid or Renault, who first person. Renault, thank you.
Yep.
You push.
Never volunteer.
I know, he just did.
That's like when your boss is like, hey, I need 2 volunteers.
Yeah, congrats, you're working the weekend. So, Shahid, you managed to get over the fence. Renault, you start climbing, and the first pair of hands gets on you, then the second pair of hands, and then a third pair of hands up by your waist, up by your belt, and they start dragging you down. Shahid, you're on the other side holding onto him. Renault, there are bits of metal at the top of the fence that are beginning to dig into your flesh. It will be painful, but no damage just yet. If it continues like this...
Shahid, let go of the fence immediately.
I let go.
I reach down with the one hand as they're pulling me down, and I now have connectivity to the fence. Thunder wave.
Oh, shit! Okay. Oh, fuck. Oh, dude. Okay. Give me the specs. Now. Give me the specs.
They make a con save of everybody has to make a con save of 16, or they're going to be taking 15 points of electric or thunder damage.
Oh, sonic. Okay.
Yeah, the thunderous force sweeps out from me, and I'm channeling it as on the wave into the back.
Not a problem. Okay, you go to cast it, and there is a loud clap of thunder that emits out of you. I'm going to roll it right here. Let's see. D20. 19. Nat 19.
So they take half of 15, so whatever that is.
That'd be 7.
Yeah, down. 7. So they all take 7.
Wow. Let me see something here real quick. Oh, Jesus. They only have like 6 hit points each.
Yes.
Yes. You see all of them just kind of like.
I'm sorry.
What's the radius of the effect?
Let's see. Let me close the thing because it's blocking my view. 10 feet. 10 feet away from me. So 10 feet, like around me. 10
feet. Okay, cool.
Yep.
So that's going to take out. We're probably going to say about 10 of them. No, honestly, it's going to be more like 5 or 6. No, because they were starting to pack in. So that takes out about 10 of them. So the other 20 start moving over those bodies, but it will cause them to be released, or cause you to be released. Now you can hop over the fence. Give me another athletics.
Can I help them over?
Yeah, 100%, man.
Yeah, if whatever that adds.
Roll it with
9.
advantage.
Oh, we gotcha.
Come on, get the fuck over.
Yeah,
come on.
16.
What'd you get?
16 at the advantage.
Not a problem. Just as they begin to close in, they like that. You could feel them grabbing it for your shoe, but you might have to pick up your foot just in time. You hop over the fence. The 3 of you are now over there.
Come, and I'm going to try to lead them towards the direction now on the opposing side of the fence.
Yep, which would be to your left, back across the street, and you can see them on the other side, like trying to pull you forward. Excuse me. You see the crowd's eyes beginning to scan, and then all at once, their arms and torso begin to turn. Everyone does like a 180 and starts walking back out.
Against that direction. Path of least resistance. It's definitely the path of least resistance. Let's go.
You guys end up making it across the street. Oh, go ahead, bud.
I was gonna say, I think at this point now that there's nobody, like they're on the other side of the fence. This is the first time that Casper realizes that he woke up and then basically bolted out of the room. I think now he finally checks for his gun to see if he still has it.
Yeah, he did. Oh, he shot his gun. His gun is still upstairs. That's right, because Casper tried shooting and totally. Yep, the gun is still upstairs.
He shot a paint can.
Yeah.
Good shot.
What are you guys doing?
Moving back up the fence line.
Got it.
Listen, I got a plan. It might not be the best.
Any plan's better than no plan. Go.
I trust myself in a race more than I trust you do.
That's accurate.
I can draw them off. You can get Miss Moore, and we can meet back up at her place.
While just as you describe that, you manage to cross the street, and you can see that there is a small figure that Ethan is. He is like palming a ball, like he's palming a basketball. Only he's palming the small figure's head. It's a fucking dwarf, and you see Ethan like turn him towards himself. He goes,
I've been...
I knew it! It shows his ass!
So he like palms the dwarf's head and said, I am holding this one. I am detaining him. What should I do? And then he turns it back to you. You recognize him as that dwarf that you all saw in Ophelia's flat.
Oh.
And he's like, do you mind if you tell him to let go of me? I might be able to help you.
Oh, no. He's fine. Let him go.
Very well. And he lets go. And he, damn you! What the hell are you anyway?
No
What?
time to explain. Hive mind coming this way. We need to go back to Ms. Ophelia's
Hive
now.
mind. And he starts turning and running in a random direction. And he's like, which way am I going?
Follow us, damn it.
He stops for a second and recoordinates and starts following you. You guys start moving out. Hey, Raffle, thank you. Oh my God, 15 months. Yay. All of you start moving out. Go ahead, buddy.
If they start moving in the direction of Ophelia's house, Casper's gonna kind of catch Shahid's eye, nod to him. Doesn't have his gun, so I guess he's gonna take out one of his daggers.
Okay.
Or I think I only have one knife, actually.
I'm sure you do.
But I take out my knife and I just huck it at the closest member of the hive mind I can see.
Now they're about 30 feet away because the guys have started to run. But you also realize that if you do that, you're going to be bringing down one raindrop in a storm.
Oh, I'm not trying to do it to...
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm just trying to get attention.
No problem. Go ahead and roll to hit.
Yeah. Where are my attacks? I don't actually have... I'll just roll it as my pistol. It would be the same to hit. 22?
Oh, Jesus.
Good throw.
Roll damage, dude.
Yeah, that would be D4 plus 3.
Dead plus whatever.
Right?
6.
6 hit points. Okay. You see that one, like, very confused look, and it's the only one who is doing something that is different from anyone else, because he stopped. Everyone else just bumped into him, and he immediately fell down on the ground, knife in him, totally pressed, and you can see his body beginning to twitch and then eventually flat as the crowd walks over him.
I think he just kind of shouts at the group, his best kind of rips challenge. He's like, right, Dave, fucking come on! And he hauls ass in a different direction than Shahid and Renault.
Oh, where are you going?
I'm just trying to draw as many of this crowd away from my mathlete friends as I can.
As a mathlete, when he does that, I want to try to observe, try to scan the crowd. I want to see if I notice. I know this is maybe a stab in the dark, but I want to see if I notice one head turn before the others. So, like, when he draws the attention, he's like, hey, motherfuckers over here.
Yep, give me perception or investigation, whichever is better for you.
Okay. Now we're talking 17. Getting better.
No. You pretty, from everything you can tell,
Mhm.
I'm even going to give this to you. You because the crowd is, varying height beings, you can't really see beyond the first several
Sure.
rows, right? So I'm going to give it to you and just say that you match it, you found a building or a sapling or whatever. You managed to get up a couple of feet higher, and hanging off of that, you now look down over the entire crowd. And just as Jephcots starts running away, you see all of their heads simultaneously turn.
Fuck. And I'm gonna just kind of let go from a little sapling that I kind of scurried up quickly because apparently I can climb a fucking sapling without a fence. And I look over to Renault and I say they're moving in unison. I can't tell if there's one hive queen or not. We just need to get the fuck out of here. We just need to move.
So
and I just try to lead them as soon as I notice the majority of the hive mind or whatever starts shifting in the direction of Casper. Towards Ophelia's.
You guys start going towards Ophelia's. Yes? Okay. All right.
Yes.
Got it. You begin moving. You are running and running and running. I want the three of you to give me a Constitution save, please.
Okay.
Con save.
We like those.
Better. 16.
And oof. Okay.
That's a nat
16.
20 for me. For
My rolls are dog shit. 7.
Oh,
I'm
dude.
174 years old. It's showing.
Casper, you got a 7?
No, I got a nat 20. I got a 22.
Oh, okay. All
No,
right,
the
cool.
old elf did.
Yeah, the old cop's fine.
All right, cool.
I'm like that 50-year-old that you see at triathlons, just
You're
fucking
50. I'm 174.
2%
Shut up.
body fat.
Get off my lawn and
I think
fucking
I'm
run.
actually younger than that. I think I'm like 45.
At one point, Ethan turns around, realizing that Shahid is starting to fall back. With your permission. And he reaches out a hand, grabs the lapel of your jacket. With a tearing sound, you see his other hand grab onto you, and he bows down, picks you up in a fireman's carry, and then you hear thunk, 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 thunk. You guys get out. However, Shahid, give me a perception check.
$13.
You look down at the ground because now you're looking at the back of Ethan, right? You look down at the ground. His footsteps in the dirt before he moves onto the street are the exact shape of footsteps that made the depression in Ophelia's place. Okay? It doesn't take long. You guys are moving and the crowd is not. They begin slowing down a little bit. Until finally, somewhere in Fallendrift, there is a crowd looking for you. As you move through the city trying to get back to Ophelia's, you see normal life beginning to take over. And then every now and then, you see somebody stop for a moment, their head loll, and then focus on you and turn. And a hand, lazy and inhuman, begins pointing in your direction. No one else is following on these odd little things. And you see other people looking at them like, what the hell is that? And then they just go about their business. No matter where you go in the city, just in this area rather, you see people all doing the same thing, but not everyone. You finally make it back to Ophelia's place. You get inside, and through a fumbling of keys, you find yourself in the parlor behind locked doors. I'm going to grab another beer.
I just got an email. My computer's ready for me to pick up.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna get it tomorrow after work. Hell yeah.
Okay.
I am not designed for this at all.
No.
This is a great deal of work. I would much prefer. Perhaps. Do you have hover? You don't have hover technology, do you? Oh, never mind.
No.
Don't want to run anymore.
Renault, would you mind making us some of that tea that you made last time you were here?
Yes, actually. I believe she's out of fresh water, but I can supply that. One moment.
And as soon as he walks away, you hear I'm gonna being that you're still gonna be within 30 feet. I'm gonna use Awaken Mind as you're walking away, so your reaction isn't towards Ethan. And I say, Ethan's footsteps match the suppression marks that were in that other room that we saw upstairs. You hear that in your mind.
I stop. I stutter step and take another step forward. That's very. Renault doesn't know that he can respond well back, but he tries to and thinks it's like I do not think it is possible completely that Ethan's now new form is responsible for the actions of being transported here. How he got in and out without, and he's starting to get the water ready, and he's preparing the loose leaf of the tea. However,
I'm gonna haphazardly walk over to one of the windows, winded, and just listen.
And it seems that I had a working theory that it is possible that there might not be just one here.
What the fuck are you all talking about?
Oh, that's so weird.
Talking?
Have I made it back yet at this point?
Yeah, all of you are now together.
Oh.
It's safe to assume. And we're going to say that Ophelia is with Renault preparing the tea.
Did he hear our thoughts?
Who?
Whoever just said, "What the fuck are you all talking about?"
That's right. Oh, the dwarf, Onyx Mantle. He, that's right. No. No, we could not.
I'm sorry. Did I say something?
No, that's it. I believe that's reverberating back thoughts. This thing is very strange how you do it. Please explain to me another time when I'm not trying to focus and sweating after a high amount of anxious events in the past 48 hours. I'm beginning to freak out. Give me a moment.
I look at the dwarf and I'm like, "Where have you been? It's been a while since we've seen you. You seemingly vanished."
Right. The last time that I was with you, we had come up here, and then I noticed that Grungnir was down the street. So I paired off from you and went to go hit him. Unfortunately, it wasn't him, but then other business then took me aside. There are people here in the city that are doing some really odd things.
And you just notice. You're just noticing. Like,
no.
How long, you've been here for a while looking for Grungnir, yeah?
Well, yeah, I have been, but no. What I'm trying to say is that it's like a plague that's growing, and if you pay attention to the greatest concentration of them all, it kind of led me to you.
You mean you innately were able to find us?
Kinda, sorta. I was in the middle of the city over by the old belly. And then I saw like one person acting odd over here, and I went down south just a little bit, looking again for Grungnir. I was in the southwest. And then I find no one over there like that. And then it kind of struck me as odd. Because this person was heading in your direction. And I was like, that's kind of weird. Normally here in Fallendrift, I wouldn't even give it a second thought. But I decided to go back and go check it out. Especially over by the fountain. Over by the fountain, there's a whole host of people who are not reacting to whatever it is that everyone else is reacting. And then I started walking through the city. And over the course of the next hour or so, I then walked up and I saw this. And here you are. Whatever it is that is controlling all those people, they want you. They want you bad.
I mean,
I was able to listen to some of the thoughts of the hive mind. I should say I was able to hear the solitary thought of the hive mind. There was a voice speaking in a language that I believe I've heard before, and they were beckoning for our destruction.
As soon as you say that you've heard it before, you are correct. The last time you heard that was just as you were passing through the barrier of the basement of the asylum, through that warded area and up again.
Yeah, I know I've heard it. It was through that ward at the basement of the asylum. It was beckoning for them to attack us and promising their safety and protection.
I'm liking the idea less and less, but it's seeming more and more apparent that we're going to have to make our way back to Merryweather at some point. I mean, it makes sense that whatever this thing is wants us out of the picture, yeah? If we act under the assumption that this is whatever is causing the memory loss, seeing as it does play with people's heads, then we might be among the only ones that it has taken memories from that are actively working to get them back, as it is in our group. You know, it seems like everybody else, when they lose these memories, they move on and they forget. Our group, by nature of being 4 as opposed to 1, reminds each other of these things, and we continue our investigations. That's got to be frustrating for something that has as much power as this.
Hello there.
I'm just, throwing knives at the wall.
No, I do agree with you. I do feel as if something's drawing us back to the asylum. I fear that a bit of my fate's to go back, as I've had visions of that location and doing battle with otherworldly entities there. Don't know when, don't know why, but it seems as if the more and more we go on with our day-to-days, the more I'm drawn to that area.
The night wears on. It's quiet. It's raining yet again. It's rather peaceful for once. Every now and then you look outside and you can see one of them looking around in an odd, haphazard fashion. Your conversations continue.
As one passes by, I want to attempt to take out my mirror again and try to look through to see if that one looks any different than some of the others that have passed previously, just in normal passing.
Sure. You look in the shard of the mirror over your shoulder, and you don't notice anything different. They appear as they would. The mirror allows you to see the soul of the person. Mm-hmm. It has a soul, and there doesn't seem to be anything else.
The people that we see on the street, they're like looking at Ophelia's place, like they know that we're in here.
No.
No, they don't.
No. You guys got away.
Okay.
Kind of see if the cube does anything to him.
So, seemingly we're not being tracked by any kind of magical mean, or else our location would have been given up. It seems as if
give me your perception
we're
check.
safer now, as I speak too soon. 13.
If this is just something that's going on, I just want to brag about my passive perception. I do have a passive perception of 18.
Oh, yeah, no, you're fine then. Jephcots, you notice out of the corner of your eye, the dwarf has his hands extended out. Shahid, to add on to that, because yours was a little bit more active. This is the same thing he did previously when he was guarding everyone. Donald, thank you for that. When he was guarding everyone against outside listening.
God, not to speak our truths or secrets out loud. My apologies.
He's like holding on to it, and he's like, looks up for a second at you, nods. He's concentrating hard. There is something out there. It's like I'm holding a door. My hands are on one side, and a whole army, a host of enemies, is trying to get in. In terms of the power, not the quantity, there's something out there that's trying to find you and trying to listen in on all of us right now.
I'm back.
Hello.
Hola.
You didn't miss much.
Keep it going, guys.
With a very strained and very shaky hand, Renault is sipping possibly his third cup of tea at this point, kind of processing everything that has happened, as we are now safe. And
In
it's
Ophelia's
apparent.
flat, after running by foot from a mind-controlled mob, where every now and then someone outside is acting like they are also mind-controlled. No one is outside of Ophelia's flat looking in, or even anticipating that you are there. The dwarf, who was in Miss Moore's place previously, is there again, catching Ophelia up and holding his hands out, and just explained, there's a lot of things out there that are really trying to listen in. I'm managing to hold it back, but it is powerful. And meanwhile, Ethan Long managed to keep Ophelia safe while the rest of the party tried rescuing Casper, who eventually rescued himself. Everyone then left the mob of about 50 people.
Okay. Prioritizing thoughts. Ethan. That is the name you would like to be designated as, yes?
How may I help you?
You can do a series of things. Is anything related to suppression protocols ring a bell? Surveillance, deterrence, any of those things mock up to help mask us and our presence?
In assessment of my abilities, I have found there are memories. I feel like I am living them, but I do not understand how this body correctly functions just yet. I found its weapon systems. That's unusual.
Not that one. Let's not look directly at that one right now. We may need you to run your own self-diagnostics on that later. But surveillance, deterrence, things like that. Do you have anything so we're not stressing our dwarf friend here?
I know that there's something inside my head. His voice becomes more and more human as the minutes pass. He's looking internally and recognizing these are foreign things. His vocal processor seems to take on a more human approach.
Inflection and whatnot.
Memories as Ethan, or memories as did he have a name before?
No, it's a memory of having been here. He looks down at the floor where Malave's body once was, and he moves over towards where the carpet used to be. There was a carpet here on the ground.
What?
And he puts his foot into one of the depressed footprints in the ground, and it matches perfectly.
I glance over to Renault, and then I look back and I say, do you have any memory of going upstairs by any chance?
No, I don't think so.
Ethan, did you kill a man here?
I did not kill anyone, but it's like a dream. 1 second. And he seems to concentrate, his cyan-colored eyes fading a little bit, as if the power source inside of his body is not adequate enough. Kind of like the graphics card in my computer.
Oh,
I'm going to name my computer Ethan.
Oh.
So,
no.
he takes...
Ethan's all of our boyfriends.
Ethan
Yeah, we're a polycule only because we're all married to Ethan. Less of a polycule, more of a harem.
Ethan reflects for a moment. It's not me, but there is definitely something that did this. I believe it was this body.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm accessing these. This is written. There is a diary a very organized diary, down to the second, of everything that this body has done. You then see his body falter just slightly, and he takes a step back as his eyes grow brighter for a moment as he looks down in the area where there is still a pool of blood. What have I done?
You didn't do anything. Your conscience didn't do anything.
I remember this. I came in here. As a wagon passes by, his eyes flare up red and his head turns right towards the window.
Hold on, Nathan. Hold on.
Seemingly his shoulders relax as he looks back at Renault. I'm sorry.
All right.
I am sorry. It's almost instinctual.
Yes. I would suggest holding on to those instincts, just in case for preparation and making sure that we have a good defense, I guess you could say. Nonetheless, for a good term of building ethics, which is part of the rules that we have during my time, is to try to take into consideration any actions that you or anyone who is like you has done and keep them unique to yourself. Since you have not done much except for very nice things since you have woken up, let's stick to that unless absolutely necessary.
I understand.
Oh, that was quick. Your processing is astounding.
You should have a mantra.
There's only one problem.
Yes?
I remember standing beside you, Renault, as you put this power supply inside of me.
Yeah, that was okay. There is something that we commonly call imagination. Anything that happened before or during
Hold on
that
a minute.
time. Yes.
No.
Ethan,
Yeah.
were you built by Renault?
I have no recollection of that, but I remember being alive. I am not alive.
That's a matter.
Subjective.
It's very subjective.
Yes.
This body is odd to me, but I can access some of it. He falters again and even falls
Ethan,
back
yeah.
a little bit, finds a chair and sits down. You can see the
Casper,
glow of the chest fading a little bit.
When I'm gonna
down
just
that
quickly look at that, am I recognizing that as like perhaps the cubes?
Missing cube.
Yes.
So when I kind of make this like it's starting, you guys kind of see Shahid's eyes wandering back and forth as he's starting to try to make connections, and as I'm staring at the chest of the construct, Ethan Long, I'm gonna kind of make a finger gesture towards Casper, and I'm gonna say, Casper, do you still have your cube? Do you think perhaps you could aid in powering Ethan a little further? Renault, do you think that would be smart? I mean, wouldn't that act as one of those, like a conductor, like you were doing with the fence, and give it more power? Maybe that'll help our friends not fritz out so much.
I could even further that by making a continuous, almost perpetual energy drive in the center, but it would take a substantial amount of corrective workings to do. But
I don't
yes,
feel
this will
well.
work for now. Okay.
I pull out the cube and I'm holding it close to his chest while I'm sort of like, just like guy that got shot is being comforted. He's like patting him on the shoulder like,
Listen, it's all right, yeah. Man with a peg leg's no less of a man. Man with that body's no less of a man. Ethan, come on, stay with me.
You see that there is inside an internal chamber where the heart would be, where the skeletal armor protects, and there's a glow coming out from underneath it, and it's incredibly faint. As your cube, Casper, comes closer to you, you can see that it grows a little bit, including the brightness in Ethan's eyes. I don't know what that is. It feels exceedingly foreign. Like...
Foreign like
What
menacing
would
or foreign like a knife?
No, like What would a jar of water feel like if it was not contained in a jar? And it feels like the jar is being brought to me. I don't know what it is. I don't feel it, but I understand what it is. It is somewhere inside. It's
Refreshing?
I need to sleep.
The mason jar.
And he leans back.
Oh no.
And the light just fades down to a very dim light. But Casper, as you bring the cube closer, it increases in intensity.
So you're really asleep?
I do not know
Exactly.
exactly how much time this has, considering much like we require nutrients, so does the simulant, and it's going to take a lot. Renault starts to take bits and pieces of metal, and he takes the mason jar that Shahid let him use with the bits of the mirror fragments.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He opens it up, and he starts to go to work. I need a moment.
Are there mirror fragments in that?
Yes, in a little jar. Yep.
Shahid and Renault. No one else. Give me perceptions. Please.
There you go. The total is it was a fucking 11.
7.
You know how angry it makes me when you make other people roll perception, Steve?
Well, it's because they have access to the mirrors, dude. Yeah, they have access to the mirrors.
I know why you're doing it.
I'm sorry.
Bad.
We're going to say that let's see. Yeah, we'll say it's fairly easy because your intention is to, okay, Renault, you look in the mirror.
Yes.
Or excuse me, you look in the jar. It's a mason jar. It's clear.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
One of the shards of mirror, we're going to say it's that big. It's about an inch overall in square.
Mm-hmm.
It just happened to have been leaning up. Is it DM forcing the die rolls?
Got it.
It is forcing up so that it reflects, so you can see Ethan moving along. Or rather, you see Ethan in it, and you see a aura around Casper's that seems to have a tendril or so leaning out towards Ethan's body, but it is not touching.
Very, very, very wimpily slapping at Shahid. Shahid, look at Ethan through here, or yours, or something. Look at them right now.
Yeah, Shahid, dude, you turn your back to them. You look over your shoulder, and you can see that there is 100% a soul or not a soul, but a container, a connection attempting to be made between Casper's cube and the thing inside of his chest.
Is it like Casper's cube is like a little soul cage? And it's containing life essence, and it's channeling the tendrils of my powers into Ethan right now, kind of invigorating him.
Yes.
I think while they are having their discussion,
fascinating.
Casper's he's a smart guy, but his smarts are definitely in the applied field as opposed to the academic field.
Okay.
So they're talking about the implications and the ramifications. Meanwhile, Casper's I put it closer to his chest.
Okay.
A little better. I can see that the light is coming out from, you said underneath this skeletal armor.
Yeah.
I think Casper is going to take the cube. He's going to try to reach up into there and get
You
it closer
feel
to
it.
where that light's coming from.
Perfect. And as you do, your hand, you can feel it. Your hand goes under the ribcage. You can feel the cube in between your fingers starting to move away as if it were a magnet, a very powerful magnet being pulled towards something.
Casper just trusts his instincts. He's going to let it go.
You do. And you see Ethan's body rise ever so slightly out of the chair. Not physically, not a supernatural level, but it arches up and there's his eyes The light blinks just a little bit, glows dim for a moment, and looks around at everyone. I'm whole.
Feeling better?
I understand what this body is. I remember everything now.
Oh, that's enough, great.
Oh, God. You've given me life. You brought me back.
Yes, yes.
No worries.
Say more.
It's. You would have done the same for me, I bet.
I owe you everything. I
My
never
fucking job,
thought I would
ain't
see
it?
this day. What?
I said, don't worry about it. It's my job. I'm supposed to help people.
Oh, I would say so. Wait a minute. I understand. There's something going on inside of this city. Or no, around. Oh, God. There's two others of me. Somewhere
right.
here.
That's right.
But I don't know where they are. Oh, God. I kind of feel like I have an entire map of the city somewhere inside of me, and I don't know, but it's not a thought. It's somewhere else, and I don't know what it is.
It's a memory.
Oh, okay.
It's a mapping of an imagination given form that you can apply to all of your skills that your body has. Yes. Oh, yes, it's fascinating. I have more notes.
There's also something that is happening that are we in a shell?
I'm sorry?
Oh, I beg your pardon, where?
You see his head turn and kind of like look around as if to look for something other than walls and ceiling.
I look at the dwarf.
Door is intact. No one is there.
No,
not
the dwarf.
The dwarf.
The dwarf.
I didn't pronounce
Yeah,
it
and
with W.
he's still doing his thing.
Miss Ophelia,
Yes.
you see things differently through your device. Is there something occurring, perhaps? I'm taking notes.
This whole time, Ophelia's been scrubbing the pool of blood
Okay, that's fair.
of her friend that her friend left behind. So she's going to like stop mid scrub and do a begrudging sigh, be like, "Yes, so all right, of course," and reach like wipe her hands. Skirt is disgusting, and pull out the planchette. Where do you just a shut anywhere? I'm just gonna start like looking through.
You see another world as you always have whenever you looked through the crystal in this Ouija board planchette.
Mm-hmm.
There is something always on the other side. When you look at Ethan, you see exactly what you see. Skeletal frame, all metal, glowing eyes, and really nothing new. But you notice that the majority of these, you notice that the majority of these visions are all outside of, I would say, a 15 or so foot radius around the dwarf.
Oh,
Everything's on the outside of that.
So he's in a shell, basically, is what it looks like.
Everyone here is inside of a shell.
Oh, 15. Okay, that makes sense. Well, this room is pretty contained. Well done, sir.
Oh, I'm trying.
Can I get you something, some tea or... Anyways, so this is pretty... Just one moment. This is pretty much a shell, I suppose. I thought maybe he was referring to, like, his new body, but...
I thought he meant the house.
Ethan pushes himself up out of the armchair, stands confused, looks around, walks over to the front door. I can't go outside looking like this. Is there a... Where does that door lead? and he points to the door, the glass door, like French doors that lead to the back outside garden.
That goes to a joint garden area. Our neighbors have access to it. There's an outhouse. I don't think you need it.
What is the probability that one of your neighbors will be looking out or in the garden? Do you have a cloak?
I have a disguise kit.
I see what you can do.
Okay, and I'm gonna pull out my disguise kit in my little trunk.
Dude,
My trunk of
that's
tricks.
awesome. Give me a charisma check. I don't even know if that's the right one, but let's try it.
Can I put the cultist cloak on him?
Sure.
That was my twisting face, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't suggest that.
I'll turn it inside out.
Okay,
Maybe
fair.
that'll-
I think with a 5 Casper,
Kobold's closet.
Again?
I put a hat on him. I'm like, that's fine, yeah.
Ophelia, what'd you get?
I rolled a 5, but hold on. There's actually a tool. I could use it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use charisma. Am I proficient in charisma? I am. Proficiency. Oh, no. I have expertise in that. All right. Disguise kit. 22, baby. I'll take that.
Once Ophelia has spent about 10 minutes running around, grabbing assorted things, it doesn't look like it's going to pan out at all. Ethan turns around, and aside from the glowing eyes underneath a hooded cloak, he extends out a hand, and you see the metal hands completely covered by leather gloves. His feet have leather boots on him. He's wearing full Victorian clothing. He even has like a cravat. He's like
I give him monocles.
and
I
you
give
see
him monocles for his eyes.
Okay, so a monocle is a lens, my dude. So it's going to increase the brightness of one of his eyes.
Every time he looks at us, our clothes just start smoking.
However, it's the makeshift woolen beard that he's now sporting that helps him. Like, so how do I look?
Don't ask me why I have this beard. People are strange at parties. But the good news is you look more like a Dr. Belfry than I did using disguise self.
I removed the monocle.
Okay, and with that, anybody that needs to do that has to beat with their perception or an investigation a 22 or better. So
Fuck yeah.
he's looking pretty fucking good right now.
You can get a
He
day
reaches
job
into
here.
his pocket and takes out a pocket chief and kind of folds it, and I look at Casper and I place it into the left breast pocket nicely of Ethan, and I pat his chest and I'm like, now you look like a
Yeah,
gentleman.
Casper assumes everybody else is as good at noticing things as he is, and he goes, "That'll do it."
There it
His
is.
nose.
And he like looks at everyone and kind of gives them a thumbs up and goes outside.
Wait, where are you going?
I need to look at something. I have a feeling that I can help in a different way. And he stands in the threshold, kind of confused, his gloved hand on the door handle, looks back at everybody. If something happens outside, I have a feeling I'll be able to handle it. Stay in here. I don't think your location should be discovered by anybody. I could be wrong, though. I don't know. And with that, he turns the door handle and walks out.
Don't die.
He comes back like 2 minutes later. Not even. He comes back in like less than a minute.
Like the entire time he's gone, Casper is like offering everybody drinks from like his flask, and like every time somebody says no, he takes a sip of it. And he's like,
I just feel like it's weird, right? I feel like he's kind to my son, and I'm worried about him.
Yes.
I have
It
some
so
news.
quickly.
That was fast.
I only needed to walk outside of the radius of whatever that man's effect is, whatever he's doing. There is a presence here that I understand it, I understand its existence. Something, it's almost like roots looking for water underground. But they are not physical. There's something within the city that is reaching out and listening in on everything.
Perhaps a negative ionic effect that is trying to reach out to what you classified as spirit or life energy, but translates all to positive ionic effects?
I have no idea what you just said.
Oh, all
Did
right.
you hear its heartbeat?
Ethan, this strong feeling, is it pulling you towards a particular direction, say the northwestern side of town?
No, it's more like a barking dog. I acknowledge that the sound is there, but I don't understand the meaning behind it.
Do you? Oh, I'm gonna look like frantically between Ethan and brain fart Renault, and I'm gonna say audio enhancers. I don't know what you call them. Do you hear?
Amplification.
Yes. Do you have those? Because I heard a whisper, like an unintelligible whisper, the other day. Remember? And there were like whispers, all like a buzz in the city, and then there was like this other sound that sounded like a leader or like a separate call. But are you able to pick up any strange?
I don't hear anything, if that's what you're asking.
Okay, do you have the ability to turn? Do you have a feature inside of your new body
I
that?
don't know. I'm trying to find out everything I can about this thing. It's very powerful, but it's kind of like driving for the very first time a 10-horse carriage. I'm only accustomed to 2 horses. I'm trying here.
Do I have? I think I do. I'm gonna frantically run around to all my little tricks, my little spirit tricks, and I'm sure I have like a horn, like a hearing horn or something. And I'm gonna like grab it and like run over to him and like stick it in like a hole in his metal ear socket. Does this do anything? Do you hear?
I hear echoes and very hollow sounds. He moves away from it. He's like, I don't think that is going to work. I'm terribly sorry. But I can detect certain things. I just don't think that they are audible. I know that they are there, but I don't understand it. I don't hear intelligible words. It just sounds like a constant murmur, as if you had 1,000 people who were whispering.
That's what I heard. With like one of them was louder than the rest.
Right, but I do not hear those sounds when I come closer to that one. And he points to the dwarf who's like leaning up against the wall, his hands are out. I don't know how long I can continue doing this without a beer. I'm just saying.
As soon as he says that, Casper offers him his flask. He's like, hey,
oh, hey, thank you very much. I'll just take that. Oh, hey, look, I am rejuvenated. There's only a problem here. I need to sleep.
It's liquor. It's like some Rips quality.
Well, whatever this shite is, I drink it and I am somewhat refreshed. Look, I have to sleep at some point, and they're going to know where you are. We have to go to a place where they can't find you.
The Intelligarium.
That's the only place I could think of.
That place.
You're talking about that Otto fella.
Yes.
Yes, Otto.
Do you know how to get there?
Yeah, we went there once, twice.
Will I be joining you? Am I coming?
Yes.
I would be very interested in you. I know that for a fact.
Good interested or dissection interested?
Good interested. No one's going to dissect you as long as we're there.
That is correct.
I'm up for it. Oh,
you
good.
can meet Renault's girlfriend. He would be very interested in you.
His eyes immediately look at Renault. Maker.
Yes.
That sounds so weird. You're not a god. Do gods exist?
Yes.
And you see him like get lost. Oh, I wonder if gods exist, then I wonder if
They're likely outside of most conscious calculations I've tried.
he starts going off in a Renault-esque ramble about gods and whether or not they exist, and he starts addressing all sorts of philosophy.
Casper just grabs Shahid by the shoulders and he goes,
If him and Renault and Renault's girlfriend are all in the same room, I'm gonna go fucking insane.
Yeah. I know.
So, can you move to the dwarf? Can you move while this is going on? Can you walk with us and protect us?
Yeah, hold
There's
on.
a whole
Hold on.
bottle
Shut your face hole! I'm trying here.
Okay.
And he starts moving.
Jeez.
And he said, no, but don't get quiet, please. What I am doing requires concentration, and the incessant rambling that goes on inside of my head is enough. You understand what the voices outside of this place are like? Hold on. And he moves up by like 5 feet. So far, so good. He turns to the right to start walking out of the living area and into the foyer, where the entrance is like some 10 feet away. So far, so good. He walks over to the door. Somebody open this feckin' thing.
While we're moving, may I try something? You don't have to do anything. I'm curious, but later. Yes.
Open the fucking door!
Renault opens the door.
He steps outside, starts running down the stairs.
Oh, Jesus. As we're following close behind, I lean into Casper. I was going to give him one of the bottles of whiskey, but never mind now.
I don't think he deserves it. we hold it back until we see some good behavior. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Good behavior. So now that
In
he's
my home.
So now that he's
That's
standing.
what I was gonna say. It's your fucking house.
So now that he's standing out in the street, he looks back at you. Well, and he starts walking back up the stairs. They go, look, I can concentrate on it. I'm gonna need a good keeper after this. I can tell you that right now. But right now, we can do this and move. And he goes back inside.
Renault grabs the cultist stuff, his tools, and everything that he left at Ophelia's house, and he puts it all in a bag, and he's satcheled up and ready. He's got his toolkit on his side, his little booklet thing, and all of his equipment, and he's getting ready because he's working on something while you move.
I say we make our way to Hightown and go to the safe house.
There's just something I wanted to do outside of Onyx Mental's little protection, but I feel like it might be easier here. I told you guys about the heartbeat I heard. This is where I heard it. I want to see if I can hear it again, now that I know what I'm looking for. Does that make sense?
Any form of detection that is not familiar with us would be beneficial, yes. That would help a great deal.
So, you guys can leave. I'll run and catch up to you guys as soon as I'm done.
What are you trying to do?
We were here soon after we met, and I was listening for conversations outside of the door. And I think I heard the heartbeat, or at least felt whatever it was that Ethan is detecting. If I can get any sort of information out of it, I feel like this whole thing is... We're fighting something that we have no fucking clue what it is, where it is, what it can do, anything. Everything we learn about it seems important. I'm just trying to do my part, yeah?
I won't be able to protect you. If,
Yeah, that's kind of the whole fucking point, ain't it?
Are you sure this is the course of action you truly want to take?
Yeah, I think it is. I've considered it because, at least from what we saw when we, escaped to here last time, whatever that thing is, it is trying to get us by controlling people. And I've seen the people in this neighborhood. I'm not exactly impressed with their athleticism. I think that, I could give them a good run.
Are you offering yourself as a sacrificial lamb?
No, nothing like that. I'm offering to extend the analogy, I'm offering to stay back in the paddock a few seconds just to see what kind of wolves come poking.
How will you traverse this without that man's protection?
Same way we did it before we met him. Just good old Rip's grit, I guess.
As you wish. Ethan just kind of goes over and stands next to Shahid. At which point, the dwarf
A new
looks...
subscriber. Hello there.
Hey, thank you so much for the sub, Crazy.
A suggestion.
Yeah,
A suggestion.
The dwarf raises his hand. I am so sorry. Whatever your name is, Rennie. That's your new name. Rennie. Mr. Shadow. Shahid. Mr. Shahid. You've got something coming for you. There's someone knocking at a door. You mind if I ask you something? Do you have the ability to... Do you have the ability to do things that normal people can't?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Would you mind, without offense meant, for you to try that right now?
You wish for me to connect to my friend.
Aye.
To what extent?
Small effect. I detect a presence outside the door of whatever this is that is trying to get in.
The dark passenger never really speaks too much to me. I have tried a little over a decade to try to do this on commands, but now's a better time than ever.
It could be big. I guess small, but I'm afraid what I'm doing might be severing the connection between you and that thing. And I don't want to do that. I just want to prevent those things on the outside from listening in. So, if you don't mind, I can only sustain this for a short period of time. Try something, if you don't mind.
I mean, so you're asking me to connect to this entity who has possessed me.
Aye.
And you wish for me to speak to it.
Whatever it grants you the ability to do. Not summon it.
Well, that's what I'm saying, see. And he looks towards the other party members and he looks back. This really isn't something that I've ever spoken about openly.
Oh, I am so sorry.
No. He looks around. Are we outside?
You're inside the living room.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. So I guess now is a better time to speak on it than ever. I was on an excavation mission and I was dying. I witnessed some dreadful entity consume my family. And I was on death's door. It was me and my partner, Abigail. I managed to crawl to safety through some ruined tunnels. And I stumbled upon an altar of an entity that knew my pains, that knew my struggles, and knew the hardship that I was facing in not seeing my family. It asked me what my biggest desire was. So naturally, it was to see my family once more. They promised me exactly that. If I were to pledge my soul to them. Being a student of history, I should have known better. The ancient texts constantly spoke of such deities or the jinn or some kind of patrons that ask things upon mortal souls to do their bidding for the sacrifice of, well, themselves. But I, in that moment, saw no clearer option than that. That was over 10 years ago. Since that day, I have tried to endlessly call to this being. I've screamed to the heavens. I've shouted down the 9 hells. I've been to temples. I tried everything within me just to hear its voice past just that fucking laugh. That echoing taunt. Once it realized I gave up one of the things that meant most to me. That means most to most mortals. I call it my dark passenger because I've never been able to speak to it. It wasn't until a couple weeks ago that I'd even heard its voice as things came flooding to me and I met all of you. I don't know what it is about you all. I don't know what it is about the troubles that I'm facing. And I don't know what it is about where we just were, but I've never felt more alien in Fallendrift than I do now. I've never felt more pulls outside of Fallendrift, specifically to the northwest of town, than I do now. And you asked me to do the one thing that I can bear to do, that I've tried to do. But my chosen family, if this is what you ask of me, I will do it.
It's there, lad. It surrounds you, and I am afraid I am holding back the very thing that makes you you. I'm sorry for
He
you.
looks towards the other
What
party
makes
members.
Shahid is who he... It's not that thing. What makes Shahid is his curiosity, his kindness, you know? Shahid's not what he can do. Shahid's who he is. Cut that shit right out.
But that's the thing. It's consumed me. For 10 years, it's made me what I am. I've created illusions. I've created lies about who I am to hold it back. It's only been lately that I've embraced its gifts, its dark blessings. It's only been to assist you all, to protect you, to selfishly protect myself, to make meaning to this end. But if this is what must be done, if this may give us some answers and some clarity as to the primordial beings that own these lands, then under your watchful eyes, I will do just that.
I don't think less of you.
Yeah.
I don't know if that counts for anything, but...
Yeah. Listen, I haven't known you long, but you're my friend, Shahid. We are who we choose to be. We're not what we can do, we're what we do with it. Yeah? This thing might be evil. You've used it for good. That's who you are.
Overall,
I
it would be
trust-
classified we are a sum of our experiences. Hopefully, your experiences, although very noble, haven't ushered in any malice from whatever is trying to influence you and your very soul, as you have so aptly placed it. And I've had many things that have gone against my original level of beliefs, and I think my curiosity and apprehension about you has been lifted with that understanding, because you seemed truthful throughout the entirety of it.
And you won't let it hurt us.
With those words, Shahid reaches into his pocket and pulls out his little black book of shadows and a piece of chalk. He's going to open it to the page where he copied down that ward, that circle, to confine that demon inside the well. And he's going to kneel down on the ground. And he begins trying to etch it in a circle meticulously around him. My friends, I ask you to watch over me. I'm going to put this around me. This was that ward that I saw that kept that demon at bay back at the asylum. I'm going to stay within it, just in case this thing tries to take me. But I want you to know that if it does consume me, I do not hold you at fault to strike me down. And know that I will find a loving embrace of my wife and daughter if I do not make it. I sit in the middle of the circle. I close my eyes. And I make a gesture towards the dwarf. And in a mind link with him, I ask, please, my friend, lower your ward.
I'm trying to conduct a test to see if I can hold it back. Are you sure?
Whatever you think is best.
Let me hold it up first. You do you. Let's see what happens. Shahid, with those words, you finish casting the circle around you. You see the dwarf begin looking around, and as if there were multiple shades of lights, Ophelia, just for a quick moment, you kind of go, well, let me look through that crystal over here. And you can see that there is a circle being cast all around Shahid. One that is lasting. The dwarf, right? And he bears down. And Shahid, you feel a connection that perhaps for the first time in these years is strictly under your control. It is there. You maintain it. Nothing is just under the skin, constantly clashing with any ideology that you have. But with that, you also understand you are vulnerable. You hear a train whistle in the distance. You remember your family leaving. You also recognize all of that was a forced memory upon you. The false memories of your family leaving Fallendrift to go elsewhere. You remember your family perishing or disappearing or whatever it is that had happened back then in those desert days. I'm going to... Everyone else follow me. And he starts walking back out towards the door. And as he does, he makes a silent gesture to everyone else but Shahid, who remains in place. Now. And he takes one step back. And Shahid, you can feel that. And you feel it gnawing at you once again. And then it disappears as you see everyone else come back into the room.
Is everybody okay? Is everyone all right?
Yeah, yes. Are you okay?
It connected to me. I felt it take hold to me once more.
The sounds of Fallendrift continue to surround the building. Shahid, you now understand that your connection to it can be muted or at least calmed temporarily in whatever it is that Mantle is doing. You also understand that without that, you return to normalcy, and therefore there is never a negative effect with it. Everyone else, there is also a sense of quiet. You aren't even aware how much noise there is in the city in your head. Mantle, realizing how tired he is, warns you he's going to have to drop it. And getting to a safe place, potentially outside of the city, is probably going to be the best bet. Otherwise, those things that have come knocking on those mental doorways are going to find you.
Even in the Intelligarium?
I don't know exactly what that is, but we can certainly try. If you think that'll work. With that conversation, you remember being in Dr. Orius's office when Shahid had asked, how far are we underground? And Otto had responded about 90 feet or so. And then something else had occurred that caused Otto to inform you, no, even down here, the earth is not a barrier.
Oh, okay.
And that the entire Intelligarium has been affected at one point or another by this force.
So we need to go outside of Fallendrift.
I'm not particularly comfortable with that, understanding what lies outside these walls, but it would seem that way. I remember coming into the city, and it wasn't anything like this until I arrived about upriver. Down the river, about half of the way here, I recognize that the city has a pulse to it.
Could we take a boat out?
Just go up to the quay and then head west on one of the chartered rafts, I suppose, or ferries.
I'm sure there's cargo liners going in and out. We could, acquire some supplies. I'm not saying steal, but have supplies, something to prepare us for out. I've never been outside of the city. I don't know what to expect.
Oh. Fallendrift itself, really, I can't find Grungnir. It would appear inside of this city I can do a great many things, all with me mind, but I cannot find that which I really seek. I'll go with you if you'll have me. As will I. I will defend you. You saved me. You brought me back to life.
You have a good soul, Ethan. As
That
do you,
was-
Mantle.
It's the gift of life for a reason. You don't owe us for that.
Ethan kind of nods his head for a little bit.
Does anybody know what the closest civilized town is outside of Fallendrift?
Shahid, you remember passing it. Casper, you understand it. Renault, you've heard word of it. There is a city whose name is kind of escapes. It's just the port. It's off to the west, downriver. The water flows from the mountains off at the east and then down, yeah.
Could we go there?
I don't see why not. That's our best bet.
You mean the port? I have had difficulties just leaving this place and fear that I'm in a very strange continuum in and of itself. But I'm okay with whatever everyone else is.
Well, I've never seen you turn away from a scientific experiment, so perhaps we'll try again.
We still have things to explore here, but yes, as long as I can do my work, I would love to. Well, we are heading towards the waterway, are we not?
Yes.
Is
Yes.
it
There's much more to explore.
Is it possible we could go by route of my dwellings before?
I don't see why not.
At the water's edge, we could probably go from there.
Okay. Right. Let's maybe pack some rations.
Ms. Moore, there's somebody at your door.
Is that what that was? I'm not expecting anybody.
I'll go.
I think Casper's gonna put up a shush and
Ethan, could you go to the kitchen area, please?
Yes, absolutely. And he goes off to the kitchen.
I'll go down.
with Shahid when you offer that. Casper,
Listen, I left my gun back there and I threw my knife. If something does happen, I can't do anything from far away from that door. Let me open it.
Before you open it, chat, I need exclamation point D percentile. 20 and under is what we are looking for.
Jesus.
Casper, I reach into my jacket, like my side, and I pull out a sleek stiletto dagger, and I hand it to you by the handle. I don't use it.
Okay. You open the door. Oh, thank God that you're here. And you can see Otto standing there, weary on his
Jesus.
His clothing looks like it's been a little bit worse for wear. And standing, hold on, the rolls were Donna with 65 and Crazy with 7. It's okay. It's okay. It's the 7 will do. You can see someone standing there in a hooded cloak and cast it back, and it is Marguerite.
Oh, it's not Otto. Oh, Otto's there with Marguerite.
Otto and Marguerite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Renault.
Renault, it's for you.
Do you mind if we come in?
Absolutely. And I open the door.
And they step in. That's when you see that there are so many like bruises and other things on their body, no open wounds. They come in and immediately put their hand on the door and shut it and start looking around for locks, start turning them, drawing chains over.
Are you all right? What happened?
Dr. Noreous has fallen under their
No.
and so has everyone else.
The entire Intelligarium.
It would seem so. They kept mentioning something about your name specifically. They hit the good doctor here, and Marguerite, I assume you made the travel well, and she goes, I was standing right next to you.
Wait, whose name?
Yeah.
Your names were called out by those within. Everyone's heard of you. You're the agents up top. So, I am afraid to tell you that the Intelligarium has fallen, and Dr. Noreous is leading the charge against you. Mind you, no one there is actually within their own wits. We managed to escape, me and her and about 7 others who have scattered since across the city. All of us. I'm terribly sorry.
No, as long as you're okay. Please, come in. Get warm. We were actually considering leaving the city.
Yes, you should come with us.
Well, I have some news for you. May I? And he gestures to his coat and looks at a coat hanger, or a coat peg.
I'll take it for him.
He hands you his top hat, puts his gloves inside, and takes off
I
his
help the
scarf.
lady take her jacket off.
Yeah, she's good. And you can see she is drenched in blood, but not her own. And she looks over at Renault and like kind of runs up to Renault just for a second, arms outstretched, and then kind of holds back, not knowing if it is proper, because not knowing whether the boundary of one night stand or if this is something more permanent, not knowing where this is going to go. And she kind of looks at Renault with like clasped hands and says, fuck it, and just dives into Renault's chest and holds on to him. There was something that happened. Everyone inside of the Intelligarium, all at once, turned their heads in a very odd fashion, as if they were all controlled. And you are well understanding that I can manipulate reality to some degree. However, whatever it is that is doing that is well beyond my means, and I assure you that is quite significant. I feel that Dr. Noreous and the rest of the Intelligarium have joined whatever it is that powers the city. The city's hive mind, as it were. Fallendrift has fallen.
Was there any particular act that you felt might have been the proverbial straw? Was there a sound?
Yeah, in fact, Marguerite turns around and takes a look at everyone, steps forward and keeps her hand on Renault, just lingering for a moment, drawing it down his chest, just as she removes it. You had asked, the Intelligarium was looking into the effects of Mr. Malave. Mr. Malave, we had discovered his body had undergone some extensive trauma due to a high-powered something. I can only equate it to if you were to high-powered. It's as if you were taking a kerosene lamp, only of significant power. Something like that. That I don't know how to describe it, but high heat had severed his skull cap from his head. However, we were also able to understand the nature of his body and the augmentation that had taken place. It seems like, I don't fully understand it, but the way that it was explained to me, his body got lighter from a lack of soul. His soul had been transferred from his body before his death. and into something else. And I'm not too certain what. You hear a thump thump coming out from the kitchen area.
Before he comes around the corner, I go, "It's Ethan Long. He's fine. Don't freak out."
He looks at Renault, who just gestured, and you can see a hand. He puts his hand up and remains silent. There's more.
There's more what?
In their sleep. We have patrols that go around due to the nature of those people that stay with us. Many of them have lost their memories over time. This is the same thing that I told you in the past. May I have a spot of tea? Do you mind?
Yes, of course. Go back and mix them.
No. Just point me towards the area of the kitchen. I'd be more than happy to go find it myself.
That way.
All right, and Otto goes towards the kitchen, and you hear, "Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Good Lord, what the hell are you?"
Excuse me.
I'm so sorry, sir. I don't mean to stand in your way. And
No,
you hear a conversation taking place between them, and it fades off in the distance. Marguerite continues. The patrols of the sleep informed us that people were recalling memories, and each and every single one of them talked about the north end of this city, just north of center, north of the Old Bailey. And somewhere underground there exists something of tremendous power. And that's when they awoke from their sleep and just came out. It was as if there was... Well, I took one of them aside. I requested that one of the sleepers then came on over, and then I had begun to conduct experiments on him. I had several things. I began working on a lattice work nature of like a matrix, and then he turns over to...
Casper, she's doing the thing.
Yeah, she is.
And as soon as she says, like, just north of the Old Bailey, I look to Shahid and go,
Isn't there that medical school right on the north end of the Bailey?
I interrupt and say, isn't there a medical school there?
There is. In fact, there is a medical school there. I think that's where they have begun working on the experiments of the lattice work of the matrices. And at that point, that's when we encountered the crystals and everything had begun slowing down in time. And it's and she looks at Renault and stops. I have too many answers in my head.
Brilliant. He's got too many questions.
We need
are we
answers.
going to the hospital, or are we going out of the city?
Still, we're still mortal. Yeah, we need to recover. We need to recuperate. I know myself for a fact, it's at the end of my rope, as it is. And if we can't do that in the city, I think it's fair that we try to leave and regroup. Knowing where we gotta go when we get back in is a big help. But I personally don't feel fit to if this is gonna be anything like the asylum, I'm a dead man walking.
My friends, you all need some rest. Why don't we rest? Try to gather ourselves. I'll watch over you all in trance. We'll figure this out as early as possible. If we need it in the morning, head towards the hospital, we head towards the hospital. If you feel that we're fine, then we can gather ourselves and recoup outside of the borders of Fallendrift, then we can make that decision then.
If you... I don't know who you are, love. I'm so sorry to interrupt, but Mr. Renault and Shahid, the two of you have knowledge of Grungnia's knowledge of crystals, do you not?
We do.
Where I come from, the thing that I'm the thing I'm concentrating on right now can sometimes be contained in something you could then wear around your neck, and it becomes a much more portable version.
Like an arcane focus.
I don't know what that is.
It's in studies back in the days of high magic. Basically, what the lores would state is that practitioners of, well, what's Renault would call it science, but back then they would call magic, but that's still, we could still talk about that. And they would basically channel their energy through crystals. So are you saying that you can amplify your effects through such?
Where I come from, everyone's powers were always able to be contained in a crystal. It requires a significant amount of skill by artificers and other things of the clans. However, I'm not one to do such things. The ability that I have right now is nothing to do with any kind of reality which I experienced prior. Something happened to me when I came here. And I'm only to let you know that the dwarves, you can do this. And maybe with some instruction I might be able to assist you in creating some personal devices that prevent this from occurring to you. If that makes any damn sense. My brain is somewhat scrambled.
It does. No, it kind of does. Between the mysticism that you're speaking of and the science that Mr. Renault speaks of.
Almost done.
Ms. Moore, do you still have the dagger?
Yes.
Well, the dagger's made of this crystal, is it not? Theoretically, couldn't an artificer that we may know maybe break this up and maybe with the aid of a dwarf, maybe reshape it into such items?
I mean, perhaps. Oh, almost done with what?
Oh, while everybody was talking and before Marguerite here came and I was slightly distracted, I have been working on, in this mason jar, lining it up appropriately at a proper angle to reflect a certain amount of light sourced into it so that I can have another power source to make sure that Ethan Long doesn't come to an end. Perpetual motion and energy is definitely something that is common, which is an almost duplicate of what the original cube cells are like in the first place.
But why didn't you tell me that this is the gentleman that you were talking about? Otto comes about the kitchen and he's like lightly tugging on the lapel of the slightly taller Ethan behind him. Why didn't you tell me that he's here? I just lost all my character voices. Oh my god. Why didn't you tell me that he was here?
There were a great number of things to prioritize in conversation, actually.
Yeah, that's fair.
That would seem to be a higher priority, but not higher than surviving amongst the thing that we cannot see that etches into people's minds and takes over whole regions. So I'm glad we went the course that we did.
I overheard you talking about leaving the city. Will I be accepted outside?
With us, of course. Yeah. We'll make sure you will.
I would like to work it so that at some point you wouldn't even need us to be accepted, but that will take a great deal of work.
Do we have that time? No. We don't have that time.
Listen, that disguise is going to do well enough for now.
I do like my beard.
We don't have the time to be concerned with that right now. I say we have to take that chance. I mean, what other option do you have besides turning yourself over to a hive mind? And I much rather you on our side than theirs, Ethan, respectfully.
That's fair. I would much rather be on your side too. I don't know what the hell that horror was that we saw. That's actually my point. There is a singular being here within Fallendrift that has caused everything that we have been witnessing. That was the last thing that we were investigating. He's now holding a saucer and a cup of tea in his hand. Upon the inspection of Mr. Malave's body and the discoverance that there was some sort of a soul thing there, yes, Marguerite, you are correct. The body does get a touch lighter when the soul evacuates. Mr. Shahid.
Yes.
May I make a horrible assumption, sir, and in so doing confess skepticism? You had coarse words for me last time we met. Words about your scimitar, I believe it was, entering your abdomen and then piercing
Yes. I recall.
Everything there that we have undergone within the Intelligarium has really been just to keep people safe. However, I also realize now that we have just been keeping beds of vacant minds for someone else to take over. The Intelligarium is no more, Mr. Shahid. And what you see of it exists in this room solely.
I understand.
So I apologize for any of my behavior that may have led you to believe that we are not of trustworthy folk. However, I assure you, after witnessing what I had, I cannot speak for the doctor here, that we Fallendrift is going to fall, like I said. It already has.
Well, understandably so. And I'm more of a man of action and deeds over words. And
Very well.
I see your actions and I hear your words. So I take it that we should be fine right now.
Where then shall we go?
Absolutely.
No, that was my question. Where then shall we go?
Well, I mean, I did give the suggestion to everybody if they needed to rest that we should do so now and then potentially either go to the hospital first if you needed healing after resting or immediately make our way out of town. I mean, that's my humble suggestion. And naturally, I'm up to hearing what everybody else has to say.
Before we go to sleep, if you don't mind,
Yeah, that.
you, Renault is
Yes.
your name. You've got an eye for the crafting, do you know?
I do. Yes, I do.
He starts inching himself over towards you and then, like, sidles up alongside you while still maintaining the protective field around you all.
That's what I think.
Yeah, exactly. And you, if you don't mind, and Marguerite's like, I'm already involved. And she starts talking to Renault. The three of them begin working on a plan to create crystals of some kind. Marguerite then furnishes some things that she took out of the lab that Renault may be able to impregnate with this protective warding effect. Renault, I'm going to be asking you for some rolls related to your crafting, so we'll see where we're at. Shahid, you come back, you see the three of them are there. Ophelia, your house has been overrun by people, and Casper has gone to the loo. So, Shahid, what are you doing?
Yes. I approach Ms. Moore at this moment. Is there anything as of right now that I can help you with? I'm still a little shaken from previously, so anything to keep my mind off of our inevitable future and coming ahead to what I know I will have to soon enough. Any distraction.
Okay. If you'd like to wash some of the teacups, there's been an alarming number of guests.
And I start grabbing plates and I say, absolutely, no worries. And I just kind of like scurry my way over to the kitchen, clanking along and placing them down as I try to start doing that. I get myself distracted from everything.
Thanks for the raid, Space Viking. And Ophelia's gonna get like a bunch of blankets out for everybody that's staying if we're I think we're all are we all resting? I feel like we're all resting.
I'm definitely going to, but if I see that
Renault was working all
Otto,
night.
and Marguerite
Yeah.
are doing something, and Ophelia has gone off with Shahid to begin the dishes, I think Casper is going to take that chance to slip out into the garden and try to get outside of the quieting bubble for a second.
Okay. All
Like
right.
he said he wanted to.
Cool.
Renault, may I please have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Arcana checks.
1, 2.
Sweet.
Space Viking! Oh shit, we just got a raid from Space Viking? Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, so we're playing some 5e, and we're in deep shit. We'll just leave it at that. We're gonna find out what's happening in a moment.
All right, I out of my 8 rolls,
Yeah.
I got...
Yeah.
Let me go back. How do I go to all of them?
Yeah, here we go.
Click the log.
Oh, yep, right up top. There it is.
Yep.
I got, all right, a 15, a 19, a 26, a
Oof.
22,
Okay.
an 18,
Okay.
an 18, and a 13.
Are you fucking serious? That's
Damn,
only
those are
7.
good rolls.
That's only 7.
Oh,
need to-
21 was your first.
oh, 21. So
And
sorry, I missed the first one.
Oh my god.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Fucking nerd.
Dude. Yeah.
Mathletes.
Mathletes, baby. Let's go.
So all with the exception of 3, 4, 5. Hold on, let me make sure. Yeah, it's 1, 2. You have 3 successes.
Okay.
All right, with a DC of 20.
Okay.
We do not have any bonuses from tonight. So
Damn.
with that, this creates awesome story. So we
Yeah.
have, you managed to infuse, or rather empty, of whatever latent energies were within the types of crystals that Marguerite presented to you. And working with the dwarf, you managed to get whatever energy he has into it. You now have 3 amulets that will protect you against scrying and mental intrusions. I'm sure that there's a word for it in 5e jargon.
Yeah. Anti-scrying.
Sure. There you go.
Anti-scrying device. That's pretty good.
Take it from here, dude. These things are in your care.
All right. So, the explanation, I believe, Marguerite, you called it a psychometric deterrent.
Yes,
I believe it's
exactly. Once it reads the thought patterns, it's able to codify it into a system and then embed that within the crystalline structure. Yeah.
Yes, there's some codification that you need to be aware of. It might be a little. You'll get a headache, yes. But for a short amount of time, we managed to only make 3 whole devices that are supposed to actually fulfill its function. Be like, oh, you don't know what static is. There'll be a haze. A haze of the mind that hides you and your presence of your mind from all outside intrusion. But for a while, it's going to take a bit of time for you to get adjusted to it. So if you would like to try it, I can fasten it to the closest point of your central nervous system. It would be mildly uncomfortable, but we can get it done. Who would like to go first?
I believe what he's trying to say is put this on.
Yes.
All right. Where do you need us?
Oh, no, you just fasten it. I mean, this small portion can just link right directly into any portion of your body that you can think about, and better at the base of the skull, but it's not really designed like that.
Wait, is it going to be attached to my skin? Like a.
It needs to be connected, yes. And
Okay,
again,
just-
mildly uncomfortable, but
Just do the thing. Do the thing.
so we managed to make it somewhat like a neck parapet.
Okay.
And the crystal portion of it is
Parapet?
Yes.
Isn't it periapt?
It's supposed to go on. Periapt. There we go. That's
I was
the
like, a
one.
parapet is the
Periapt.
stone square at the top of a castle, dude.
No, wrong thing. And he begins to fasten it around like the base of the neck, and instead of it going like around the head, it kind of it's like a choker. And I fastened one, prioritizing Shahid after all of the things that I heard in a couple of
When
hours.
when you attempt to, Shahid puts a finger up and he actually takes a step back and he says, I should be the only person who does it. Yep. Respectfully,
All right. However
I
you would
need
like to. Yes.
I need to learn how to control this. And with that,
Miss Moore.
Yeah, go for it.
And it moves her hair up, and there's a little snap fastening there. A little
Oh, I
uncomfortable,
don't like
but-
that.
And it places down and rests on her shoulders.
Ugh, goodness gracious, let's never do that again.
All right. Mr. Jephcots?
Yeah, one, just before you do that, I wanted to try listen for that heartbeat again.
Give me a perception check. Yeah, you're not going to be able to hear it if I'm around you.
He starts
I know.
fastening
So
one
then
to himself.
Casper, steps out into the garden where Ethan went before.
Yeah, that's the best way to go. I will join you outside to make sure that you are safe. Ethan and you step outside, and then you absolutely give me a perception check. You absolutely give me a perception check.
absolutely.
Oh no, it's a 13.
Not really.
Yeah, I'm not.
You hear the record player next door.
I hate rolling.
I hate
bad on
that
my
neighbor.
perception,
She's so
'cause I'm like,
loud.
I walked out here and my passive perception at an 18. I heard so much that I'm like,
Now time to listen.
Yeah, no, you don't hear anything. Wait, what's your perception? 13, right?
I rolled a 13. I was saying my passive is 18.
Oh, that's yeah. You know what? I mean, it kind of makes sense that would take over. You begin to focus in, as you've had to do in the past. Whenever you wanted to rely on your instincts, on your hunch, as a constable of Fallendrift, of the city, you are accustomed to focusing out everything so that you can focus in on other things. And as you do, you begin to hear it. It's light at first, but it is there. Something within the city is beating a heart. There's a life. It's not your own. It's not your own heart, but you know it is there.
Can I get any sense of direction from it?
None at all.
All right. Yeah. That's about what I figured.
And I nod to Ethan. I go, right, thanks. And
You head back inside.
We can go back in.
Shahid actually passes you in the doorway and kind of pats you on the shoulder as he sees you're really trying to concentrate on that. It just gives you a knowing look, knowing the feeling of trying to reach out to something that you know you've experienced, but you just can't grasp it. And he walks past you then and goes into the garden momentarily, purposefully out of that circle ward held up by our dwarf.
Yeah, stick with.
I
with him
raise
if you
a
don't
finger to him in a pause, arms crossed. Take a deep breath and I close my eyes and I start recalling that vision that I got glimpses of me peering down towards my home, completely unfettered by any insecurities or willful ignorance. I believe I was looking around my environment. It looked like the infinity of the universe, but I was able to see the land. And that's when I really started to feel alien to Fallendrift. All that emotion starts coming to me, almost as if it's going to be a block. But I push past and I try to envision once more where I know my memory is going to cut, where I started seeing the perspective of Fallendrift, and for some reason that corner of the city that I knew was holding tremendous power.
The city itself begins to fade away. Something is out there. You can feel the ethereal winds whipping by you in your mind, but you feel nothing. You can hear the whispers of everything around you, but you hear nothing. You understand that there is a heartbeat to the city, and something just on the outside is waiting for you to contact it.
I close my eyes. All right, you son of a bitch. And I try to give in to that feeling, that gnawing sensation. The hairs on the back of my neck prickle up. What do you see that I can't? Talk to me.
You are so blind. Your mortal eyes cannot see. Your mind cannot fathom the extent of this power.
What is it? What is it that's trying to draw us out of this town?
And what do I get if I answer that?
What is it that you ask of me this time?
300 dead was offered to us once, and it was taken. Now I want the blood of an innocent, of that which you would never do. Go against your own code, Shahid, al-Zafar. Contrary to your own life, commit an action so profane that it revolts you to the point of suicide, and then maybe I would provide you with answers.
Of course, that's what you ask.
Shahid, give me an insight check.
All right. Dirty 20.
Oh, fuck. You hear a wavering in its voice. It's almost... there's something inside of you that is telling you it is not as powerful as it seems to be.
So what say you?
You seem a little more bashful than usual.
Your senses lie to you.
You need me. on this material plane more than I could ever need you.
This is not the truth, and you understand that. Imagine the power we can give you if you just simply accept us.
You know he can't grab it, or rather grant it. You understand that.
This is beyond you.
Hardly. I can give you a taste of this power.
I don't think you can.
You cannot trick me without first signing a
Oh.
contract. You cannot.
I'm not trying to trick you. You see, I'm more awake now than I've ever been.
This is not true. You are much weaker than you understand. You cannot.
As his voice continues and as your words continually counter his points, you can feel him getting weaker and weaker.
You will do as I desire.
This is not going to be the way.
You will
I know I cannot.
guide us.
You will not.
You begin reaching down into yourself, and you can feel that tenuous connection between your patron and yourself. Give me a single effect from the Warlock list that you want to try to achieve right now.
That I want to try to achieve?
Something, yeah, something that is even beyond your means.
You can feel. Hi, how are you?
You can feel the power beginning to wane. Is there anything in particular you would like to be able to do? You can make it up too. It doesn't have to be part of 5e.
Yeah. I am fully aware that the land is alive. I want to be able to commune with its pulse.
With its pulse.
Unless it's beyond you, of course.
It's not beyond us. You do not understand.
Then grant me this eldritch boon.
Eldritch boon. Give me something in return. You cannot think of anything. You are as lost as I perceive you to be.
You knew his words were second guessed on the second half of that. You are not as lost as we are, was the initial intent.
Yeah. So, you're not even in control of your power. Understand, I can comprehend all languages.
Give me
This wee.
Give me intimidation.
Ten.
Oof.
Your will is waning. Your connection to these worlds is going bye-bye. Make your last.
I know. You know what? I know you will grant me this. Because if you do, like the sands of time that wisp away in the wind, your voice, your name, without it escaping my lips, will mean nothing. And I pull away the tie.
No, you do not.
Are you alright out there?
And so loud.
Yeah. Never better.
Mr. Shahid, perhaps we should come inside.
Yeah, Ethan.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And I walk in.
Ethan shuts the door behind you and stands with his back to the French doors.
These are all the blankets I have. Just handing them to everybody.
Well, what did your great experiment outside convey to you?
Who, me?
Oh, yes, you went outside for quite some time. You were gone for like 20 minutes.
Huh. Well, it seems as if the Dark Passenger isn't as elusive as they act as they are.
Did you get any information that might be usable?
I did. It's not acting alone. You see, the temple... I only entered the first room. Oh God! How did I not think of this? I only entered the first room of a temple, and that's where I laid upon the statue. He's probably some guard, some false betrayer. I know that it's putting on airs. Yes, it can grant boons. Yes, it allows eldritch powers to flow through me, but it doesn't act alone. It's not acting in its own fruition. It never said we. In the couple times that I spoke to it, it always spoke in definites about itself. But it said we. We.
This is something you are referring to within the city, or this being represents a legion?
I think this entity is a part of the Legion.
Oh.
I think it's has a greater power itself.
You had mentioned the last time that we were all together that there was a thing called oh damn it all. My notes are back under the city. Sybriacs or something, yes?
Yes, that was the name of the entity, I believe, that was below with the chains.
We managed to get some more information on that.
Yes?
Sybriacs is something of a demon, bound by chains to a mortal plane. A horrific being of multiple faces, not humanoid in the least. Communicates via telepathy and has a history within Fallendrift as a servant to something else which resides within the city. Something else that had occurred here 150 years ago. The very same thing that I had mentioned in the past.
Right.
Cypriax, you described. You saw this thing. Whatever it is that lies within the city has already summoned its lieutenant, and it grows more powerful by the hour. I fear this unseen hand is now at our ankles. And your friend is doing business with it. It's pure speculation.
No, I see the similarities. As soon as we made our way up that well, this ward that I drew here was much larger and retained the beast. Yet, I noticed tentacles lashing out and attempting to grab at us.
Tentacles?
Much like those of the Ichor shadows. Yeah, you don't remember. It attempted to grab and pull in with tentacles. I noticed it only because my my powers seemingly manifest into the shape of these tentacles of black ichor. And it struck me as curious that it was quite similar. I was actually rather surprised when passing through it that I was going to be allowed to pass through with the Dark Passenger. I guess that was maybe one of the... No, not maybe. That was definitely one of the first times that I realized that maybe I'm not evil after all.
Ethan is looking down at the circle that you cast down on the ground and meanders off. Right. Well, what exactly is the plan of action from here? Our time within Fallendrift is waning, I fear, Ms. Moore.
I think the humans among us need rest. You need rest. So we should rest first and then leave.
Leave to where?
Well,
The docks?
yes, you said it yourself. We are not safe from prying ears unless we are outside of the city.
Were there any allies of the Intelligarium out west? Outside of Fallendrift?
I fear that the powers of the Intelligarium... Oh, dear. The Intelligarium has existed in many cities once upon a time. Short story. Fallendrift is the last place where the Intelligarium is. But the Intelligarium exists within me now. I was one of the original members way back when. So... He takes a look around at everyone who is gathered. I suppose all of you are the new Intelligarium.
That's a great deal of responsibility.
Fantastic amount of responsibility. However, between Dr. Marguerite, myself, the dwarf, and your Ethan Long, that you're quite a formidable force. We will be able to... Well, I cannot speak for any. I will support your endeavors, whatever your choices are. If you wish, I will remain here within the city and keep watch. It tends to be something I'm rather good at.
With the remnants of the failed portions that we tried to put together, is it possible that it would be able to help you ward off the scrying, the influence that the rest of the former Intelligarium had succumbed to at all?
Me?
Yes.
There is very little that I fear that I can do. There's... The most that I would be able to do is to prevent you all from dying.
That would be preferable.
In a very small radius. I would say from here to the chair, and he indicates about 10 feet. And even then, only for about an hour, providing I am able to concentrate. I fear that my powers here are going to be more for life and death in the immediate sense, rather than something more lasting. I am terribly sorry, but I fear that my purpose has come to an end.
Well, to have a connection with the city wouldn't be too terrible. We could communicate via my bird every now and then if we need to correspond with each other.
There are certain things that I would be able to do if you are near a... As if to shrug off a giant weight, He sits down in the chair with a slump. If you are near a graveyard, then I will be able to communicate with you. If you come across any member of the undead, I ask that you slay them, but to retain their body before burning it or decapitating it. This way I will be able to communicate with you, providing that you have something of mine. Oh, and he gives you a piece of hair to Ophelia.
Oh,
Right.
are you?
Priest of Freya.
Of Freya.
Freya. That was it.
Used to be.
That was
I
it.
suppose I still am. I will be able to detect thoughts if you implement that as well. There are several other things that I might be able to assist you with, but I fear that laundry list of good deeds that I can perform is going to be rather extensive. If you require my assistance, do call out. I fear that the majority of my efforts will be well spent here within the city. A city that is about to fall. I am terribly sorry. I contacted you first at the fountain. It seems like years ago. But you are the future of this place, I suppose. Good Lord, what is happening? They are ringing the bells. And yeah, you can hear the church bell in an almost random tune, like it's striking every now and it's like it's not even making a rhythm. One of you peeks outside the window and you can see an army of like 60 or 70 people going down the street slowly, and as one head turns, so do all the others.
I duck my head back out of the window. Oh shit, they're outside. En masse.
They
Headed
seem to be
towards-
passing by the house.
Oh. Perhaps you could be of some assistance to us. I doubt we will be able to safely rest, especially with that racket outside. Remember the other day when you were able to teleport us here?
Yes.
Could you take us to the docks?
I've not been able to rest since, so I fear not.
Oh, drat. Okay. No matter. We'll maybe if they're all on their way somewhere else, we could sneak by.
And possibly the city streets at this point are going to be very dangerous for you. Hey, they're all over the place. There's something out there. It's been getting worse ever since you were like outside there in the garden. Like, I felt something start reaching out towards you.
Yeah, they know we're here. That's almost certain.
How can I assist you?
We either need to rest and then leave, or leave. I don't know where you would come in.
Excuse me, how much longer do you think you can concentrate on the, that ability, the frequency you're putting off to deter our detection?
I would say maybe a little bit longer if I were able to get some food in me. I've been doing this now for a spell.
Well, I can, while we cook, I can test to see if any attention is drawn onto me, but if it is, then we would have to leave immediately. Is that all right?
Renault, give me intelligence check.
All right, gladly.
Please.
The total for that, it was almost an 18, but it's a 13.
As soon as you said cook, that's going to emit smoke out of a chimney and alert people of where you are.
Do you have anything already prepared? Dried meats, perhaps?
I do have a little bit. I've got just like a couple days worth of food here.
we won't be needing it in a couple of days. So let us, perhaps, you are right to eat and walk, as Mr. Shahid has told me to, walk and talk. I guess.
Wait. And Otto stands up out of his chair. Now, there is finally something that I might be able to do for you. You stand back. Let me see where I can do this. He clears off the table, the same table that kicked all of this off, the seance table, and he looks down at it, raises his hand, closes his eyes just for a quick moment, and there's a huge amount of energy that gets poured into the table surface, and you can see splinters coming up and reforming in air as bits of meat and water. You see a giant a vat of water begin to appear, about 30 gallons worth, and about 45 pounds of food shows up, including about 15 pounds of jerky. You only have it for 24 hours before it spoils. But this is the least that I can do for you. The water won't go bad.
Thank you.
Take it.
Yes.
He immediately starts taking some of the dried meat, and he can't even. He remembers the last time he ate was when they were having tea at one of the shops, probably days ago, and he just starts chowing in.
It's going to be rather bland. It's not even salted. There's like zero pepper. It's just blah, but it is sustenance.
Casper is
Non-fey.
chowing down. He loves it.
Renault.
Mandel, if you are willing to show me the semantic gestures and kind of guide me, excuse me, I'm so sorry. I would be more than willing to try to learn that concentration spell that you're doing, and maybe I'd be able to be of some assistance, alternating to give one another some rest while trying to hold this up.
I see what you mean. However, what I am doing, I've already understood that it does not come from your source of energy. What I am doing comes from within. Something from the dwarven realms. Something that has always protected us against the outsiders.
Fair.
I'm sorry, I would like to show you, but I fear that we're also running out of time. I feel like their eyes of many have turned their attention to me. It could also be because my stomach is rumbling and then the concentration is starting to grow weak. I fear I won't be able to do this for much longer.
So we should probably go now.
We must.
I'm gonna take some of the food.
Yeah.
And portions of the food.
What is okay? What is Casper doing?
Casper's, he's
wolfing.
like exactly. He's just been basically just shoving food in his mouth.
Got it.
He feels like shit from whatever happened to him earlier. He's tired, and being from the rips, his brain immediately is like, food. I'm tired. I'm hungry, and he's like, I gotta eat as much of this as I can. Okay. The four of you manage to get your stuff. Ethan is standing there, and every now and then pulling aside a shade or a curtain to look outside. They are coming this way, but then are deterred. I believe it is linked to his efforts, and points at the dwarf. Aye, it is linked to a metal man. What the hell kind of stupidity? What brand of idiocy? Of course it's me! I don't fear that yelling is going to assist us. Are they hunting me? Can you tell? I don't know who it is that they are hunting at any given time, but I can feel 1,000 fists pounding on this door as if they were all thinking about it.
I'm detecting proximity breaches as well. They are coming very close, as if to hone in on something. I'm afraid, my friends, that this place is no longer safe.
We need to go, and we need to go now.
Okay.
Is the only way to leave through this front door? Is there a way out through the garden?
Yes, there's a gate in the back of the garden.
I suggest we go that way.
Anyone in disagreement?
No.
Nope.
Otto goes around, starts blowing out various lanterns and what have you, and holds one up, looking at it. Go. I think I've got an idea. And he produces flame in his palm and looks at the oil in the lamp. This will at least provide you with a barrier. And he casts oil like a line of oil down the way. Go now, my friends, and I will see you when the morning comes. Someday, perhaps. A huge wall of flame takes up the area. Take your food and go!
Yep.
Already packed.
All done.
You guys start leaving the city. Well, rather, you run up towards the north. May I have from the chat, I need 3 exclamation point D percentile. For you guys, give me perception checks, everyone.
Ah. 14.
The chat is playing the part
12.
of those who are seeking you.
Oh.
Ooh.
So let's find out whether or not they succeed. That's only 2 that I see so far. Shahid, you got a what?
22. I got a 22.
22 Renault. Shahid?
12.
12. Casper?
I got a 9.
9. Ophelia?
14.
Oh. Casper, there's a couple of points there where you are unable to maintain whatever kind of silence is necessary as you go from block to block. We're going to take a look at Raffle, who rolled a 51, Donald, who rolled a 40, and Alex, a 74. Casper, you know these city streets best. Give me a stealth check.
Yes.
Oof.
22.
Nice. You begin instructing everyone, and while you got lost at one point and you saw an entire mass of people coming towards you, you immediately ushered people into a nearby alley. You guys managed to head up a little bit north. Oh, fuck. Here we go. The alleyways are dark and damp. You can see the starving people of Fallendrift on either side, even in this lower to mid-class area. As you go up, you can hear the murmur of 1,000 voices out there on the street. In some cases, you swear that you hear the same kind of murmur mirrored in apartments or flats somewhere nearby as you go go through the city. Continuing up north, you come across a four-way intersection. You have the ability to go straight. You look down the left, and you can see some of them coming your way, as if to see exactly where you are. Fortunately, your stealth comes in. Somebody on the right-hand side is coming at that down in that direction with the wagon, and as soon as that passes, you then force the entire party immediately behind it. And then you look down the way, and just as you, Casper, bring up the rear, ensuring that everyone is out in the area clear, you look back and you can see their heads snap towards where you just were. Whether or not they saw you, you don't know. You continue up. You continue going down the way. Shahid, you can feel a pulse of something coming from way off on your left side, indicating the west side. Ophelia, you understand. Yes, you know what's. There's something whispering all around you as spirits begin to rise. Renault, you've been here before. And finally, you can see a small cat about 40 feet ahead of you. It's the same cat that you saw down at the shores, the one that opened up its mouth. Renault, in the movie in my mind, I see you in the front just for now. What do you do?
Walking towards the cat,
The
but
cat-
looking for an alternate route.
The cat then turns around away from you and starts jaunting itself like down the way, and then turns right. The entire party then comes across the T intersection. You have a choice: go left or right.
Right. Renault's in front. Renault's going right.
Okay, you then go right, and you can see the cat there looking at you, and then immediately turns left to head north again.
North. That's the direction we need to go. The cat is going this way. It's scared of us. Let's go.
Okay, all right. You immediately begin following it. Ethan is sitting there. You can hear his metallic feet just clomp, 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 running alongside you. He's trying to stifle it. It's just not working very well. Meanwhile, Marguerite is immediately behind Renault, as well as the three of you. You continue down the alley, heading toward it. You can smell a little bit of water in the air. It's getting a little bit more humid, and that smell in the air of a large body of water somewhere nearby. You then come across a T intersection of Renault. Give me a perception check.
Gladly. The result is a 21.
Fantastic. You can see the tail of the cat disappearing on an alley off to your left, where it then turned right. So
Got
you
it.
immediately turn left, and you begin following it. Down the way, there is a... You can see that there are people coming towards that area, but they're still about 50 feet away, and they are looking up on rooftops, not at you guys. Casper's stealth continues, and he's like, come on. I don't mean to roleplay your character for you, but
no, it's fine.
but you usher them down the way. Shahid, you can feel the power of whatever it was that was down west. The more that you continue down the city, about like another, let's say 4 minutes of passage has gone by, and you can feel that connection beginning to wane, as if whatever was talking to you also was in the center, or rather just north of center of the city. You guys finally arrive. Except I need the chat to give me 1 percentile. Aim for 5 or below.
It's gonna be a 1.
Ooh. Let's go, chat.
The first 3 ever.
Let's go, chat.
Let's see what happens.
Nice.
Nice.
Donald, 69.
Instant success.
It's not going to be a
should be
5 or
fine.
below.
It's over and we win.
Guys, just in case you didn't know, we won D&D.
Wins again.
Thank you, chat.
Thank you, chat.
Oh,
All right.
that's so good.
The cat sits at the alley and looks over its right shoulder, and then just goes down on the right side casually, its tail in the air, turning around, sitting again, and begins cleaning its face. Ahead of you, in this 4-way intersection, are the King's Quarter the King's Quarter key. It's,
With a chuck of a little small hunk of meat at the cat from the food earlier.
Yeah, it kind of gets up off of its haunches, comes over, sniffs, takes it up into its mouth, and in a rather cat-like fashion eats it, and then turns off to its right and disappears into a crate somewhere. Shahid,
Yes.
give me a perception check. This is going to be a DC 25.
17.
You've been in
I would have
tune.
needed a nat 20.
Yeah, you've been in tune. Roll it again. I'll give you advantage on it.
Get that nat 20, baby.
Perception, you said, right?
Perception. Or what's
go with
highest in between your
it.
intimidation, perception, and insight?
Intimidation.
No, investigation.
Oh, investigation without a doubt.
Let me have that instead.
But I rolled like, oh shit, like all
Damn it.
day. That's a 12, my friend.
12. Okay.
dice decide.
There is something about that cat that is very close to you, but you don't exactly know what it is. Like you've seen it before, or you recognize it. Maybe it's like deja vu. Nonetheless, alley to the north leads over to the key. What are you gonna do? Five, 4,
Head into
3.
the north.
Yeah, the north.
Yeah, if I look at.
Okay. You end up going north. There are plenty of sailors and what have you all around you. They're looking at you as you begin rushing through the area. You can see somebody give me a perception check.
Casper, you got
I got
like
a
plus
16.
$1 million. Come on, somebody.
I got a 25.
There
Yep,
it is.
That would be Jasper.
25. Sure. Casper, yeah, you rely upon your knowledge of the city, and you know that there is a... there's usually some sort of like raft or like a rowboat down below. You go there, you take a quick look around, and about 50 feet off to your right, which is the opposite direction of where you want to go, up, so it's upstream. You indicate that it is down there. It's going to take you not too much to get down there, but you're going to have to pass by some workers and what have you.
Yeah, right there. That's our fucking way out.
Right.
All right.
And as you do, you finally get down there. You have you do not think that anyone is trying to chase you. The water is there. You understand. Fallendrift lies behind you. The walls of the city lie behind you. You look up and you can see, not beyond the walls, but you see the shell of your own home. You see a boat down in the water, one that will ferry the 6 of you to safety. What are you guys doing?
Let's go. There's nothing.
Yeah, I'm gonna gesture for everybody to like enter. I want to be the last one, as I want to try to keep watch to make sure that everybody gets on safely.
Okay, you do. Everyone gets on. Yep, everyone's on.
I have a question.
What's up?
The canal leading out, will it be passing my quarters?
This is a river. This is the main river.
Oh, yeah, no, then hell no.
Yeah.
All right. No, so, yep, I'm just jumping in.
Okay. Everyone's in the boat. Some of you get your feet wet as you push the small boat off, and into the river you go. You go down the way, and you can see somebody descending the same steps that you just took to get down to that shore. And it's a long, cloaked figure. A hood over it. And in the moon's light, give me a perception.
Eight.
Not me. 12.
11.
Oh. Come on.
What moon?
Shahid. Damn.
4.
Oh, God. It's a new moon.
Renault, what did you get?
Oh, I got an 8.
None of you succeeded. A shadowy figure there on the shoreline. A hand coming together. Looks very odd. Long, spindly fingers. And you see the lick of a tentacle escape from the hood.
Oh, are you ending it now?
We're ending it right now.
God damn it. You ended it on a fucking mind flayer?